Hello, this is J.N.S. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having an excellent day. And so we are here on this Good Friday, the 13th, as they say, um, to do a overview and a review rather of the debate coming from the esoteric aspects of politics, though. So we do cover the shadow government, and we also cover the occult and esoteric knowledge and symbology, numerology, anything that deals with mystery sciences as it relates to how the government is ran. And the productive value of doing that is so that people have greater context into how things play out, the things that people say, the actual mainstream apparatus, the way it's set up. It's important to look behind the veil of things, and not just take things at face value, and also to take it with that context, to keep that in mind as we even approach the election, approach our view on how much we even want to engage with this system, and how much energy we want to give, knowing the shadow aspects of esoteric politics. And so that's why we cover this. So I do want to actually just go I'm not going to go line by line per se, but I do want to do a overview of things that, it is kind of a coulda, woulda, shoulda, in terms of like, okay, these are the things that could have enhanced um the side that I would like to see win. I have to be honest. And then I also just want to just give some general commentary, but I want to address Trump's debate team, or who is his prep team, or his handlers, his campaign team and management, because to be honest, well, I'll wait till I get into that point. But this is where I want to start. Who do I think won? Let's just start with simple. Um, I think context matters here. I think that there was information that has been relayed, or there's a lot of speculation that's been going out post debate that I suspect has more credibility than what the mainstream media will lend credence to. And so um, just the logistics of having the debate on ABC, right? Having friends of Kamala, uh, who actually run at ABC, having one of the host, who hosted the debate, is actually her AK sister, um and then there's speculation that she had a hearing piece, a hearing aid. There's these earrings that she has on. These are like wireless device earrings. And then there was a whistleblower at ABC saying that she had got the questions in advance. Now that's conjecture that I'm not going to repeat. Hello, Royal Deluxe. How are you doing, dear? I'm so happy to see you. Royal Deluxe is in the building. Um, but yes, I want to say, if that's true, that Kamala had the questions beforehand, biased moderators clearly, and then earpieces on the air, though she was more prepared, can you really give her to win? This is what I'll say. There were times where Trump looked flustered. He started off very strong, I would say. And the question about the economy, when it was Kamala's turn to answer, it was something, and we'll review it, because there was a switch, and I remember when it was a switch where the energy, where I seen, like, I think he underestimated how prepared she could appear to be, or how prepared she would come off, and or even just prepare, because I was saying, like, a couple of weeks ago to myself, I said, if Kamala, she'll show up and show out if she has to, when it's something on the line and they tell her to get her butt in there and you go put on a performance. Oh, she will perform. She'll do her part, and she will actually sit and prepare. And so that I kind of knew. But she wanted some notes for the debate, and so I was, kind of like, well, that's not really a good look to have the notes. And so optic wise, and so you know I think the other team, the Republicans, were pushing back on that. Honestly, don't think they should have pushed back on that for them to optic wise. I'm just speaking as a strategist. I don't think they should have pushed back on the note part. Just the optics of someone having to have notes for the debate. I'm telling you, I went over well with the public, and so I don't understand why they have pushed back so much on that. Now the mics being muted, obviously that was a good call. Um, but I will say, Kamala, she went to graduate school. She know how to prepare for a damn presentation and speech. I'm telling you, when you got it, like when we were in grad school, you were not allowed to have any notes, and so you had to either memorize. You better have done something where you can cue in, and sometimes you and the way they had it set up, you couldn't have all them words on them presentation slides. If you can even have a presentation slide, but say if you have a speech, you cannot have notes. And so she had wanted the notes. They didn't give her the notes. And so I guess they had to think of another strategy to prepare. And so that one of which was uh, the audible airing device. That is conjecture. Now that is a rumor. These earrings, they have been seen on the market. People have been posting like where you can buy them, and they're like these earrings that will allow a speaker to come through. Is that the case in this situation? It's a rumor, and so a rumor is a rumor. But also, I have to say, the moderators, in my opinion, were biased. They were quick to like fact check certain things of the debate where Trump was speaking, and they didn't do it for Kamala. And again, these are her peoples. This is her team. She's in her ballpark, and that's how politics is. It can be very dirty. It's a treacherous, cutthroat game, and so um me even myself, I have to say I underestimate that considerably, even as a strategist. Like I'm like, okay, I'm would honestly, when I saw the debate without all the rumors and everything that came out post debate, I was like, wow, like she prepared. Like she was not playing. Like I'm thinking, I'm picturing her in the room, crafting out some notes with her team. I ain't saying she did it by herself, but some responses of what to say and how to say it, and to cue her in. And I'm thinking she was really practicing, like really going hard. And I'm like, okay, she must have remembered them grad school days when you got to sit and prepare. So I thought that's what she did. And she could have done that. But people are saying that it was, this ear device. And, you know, you got to figure it's politics. And so she came off more prepared. I'll say that. And I do think that Trump is so used to winging it, not winging it, but like going off the cuff. It's like he's already was the president for 4 years. He understands the economy. He understands marketplace, which is a huge aspect of the American government. And so I think from his perspective, it's like, well, whatever they ask me, I'm just gonna go up there and answer, you know, off the cuff. Like they gonna ask about Jan. I think he probably thought about, okay, they're gonna attack him on January 6th. That's a given. You already know you got to prepare for January 6th. That type of thing. And but I think that he really just thought that, oh, I'm just gonna go up there and if you come off honest and you just do it raw, just go off the cuff, and you should be able to answer the questions because you have the experience. You live the experience as the former president. So that I think that was the thinking going in. Um, but to me, I think he just didn't seem as prepared as Kamala. That doesn't translate to her automatically taking the win though, just because he didn't prepare. I do think had both parties in with the same constant variables, which is obviously preparation from your campaign team management, and so I get that, but and say like not even having the questions beforehand. So neither party can have the questions beforehand, and they are to prepare regularly for a debate like they would, given the information and that they have, and as well as their team. I think if those variables were constant, well, that's not if that scenario rather was a constant and not a variable, then you would have saw a more fair comparison. But Trump did not prepare. like we've seen presentations before throughout our life. Like we know how these things look when you can tell when someone put effort in and when they not. And the thing is, Kamala is not the greatest public speaker, and she knows that, and her team knows that, and that's her weakness. And so she knew she had to perform. Like she knew she had to put on. She could not fuck that up for the party. And so that's a lot of pressure. And so they was not playing, even if they had to get 3 biased moderators, earrings, rehearse, get the audible speaker device earrings. You're going to get the questions beforehand. We're not playing. You're going to look like you know what you're doing and what you're talking about, even though we feed you your lines. You're going to go out here and you're going to say and sway public opinion. You're going to come off more presentable. You're going to come off more calm. You're going to come off more emotional. You're going to come off more appealing to the people. And so they crafted this. Now, this was craft. Obviously, post debate, all this stuff comes out. People were now saying that she was fed the questions beforehand. And I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. But if it is, that's like, whoa, like I can't give you the win. There ain't no way I'm giving you no win if you did all that. If you had got listening damn devices in your ear and damn questions beforehand, 3 bias ass moderators and the ABC network that you friends and connected and click with the family. Nah, sweetie, I can't give you the win. But I'd have to admit, you came off more prepared. Yes, you did. And I have to say, with Trump, I feel like I understand the mindset that he went in with, but with this type of thing, you can't. I feel like he should have sat his ass down somewhere for a couple of days, or maybe a day or two, with his team and had them feed him some lines. Had him with some of these questions. There was a couple of questions where I was like, "What in the world? Like, what the heck?" The healthcare, the concepts of a plan, and the question about Kamala's race, I think could have been handled better. The economy question, and gearing the whole debate more towards how your policies are going to benefit the American people. Because here's the thing with the presidents, and with governments in general, the people don't care about necessarily your successes or what you have done in terms of the collective aspects of the American government or even American economy. They care about what you're going to do for them and what's in it for them. That's just humans. That's just the nature of humans. Like, well, what's in it for me? Like, well, how am I going to benefit? And so Kamala team, the Democrats, I do have to say, they understand human nature of, they like free shit. They're creatures of convenience, creatures of habits, creatures of convenience. And so they exploited that. They exploited the fact that they knew Trump was going to do some ad hominem, as they call it, name calling. And so his team, like, I'm just telling you, like, who is around him where someone is not prepping him, like, okay, they're going to go after certain things, certain characteristics of your certain traits that people may find obnoxious about you that other people may like. See, other people may like when he be, going in like that and just go and very raw or blunt, but anything can be weaponized. And so what they saw, this is an opportunity to run down the traits, and because they already know his style. So run down what he's going to do, say it publicly, which she did, which she said, you're going to name call, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And then he, I think that's when the debate might have kind of shifted, like, in her favor. There was the point where I could feel the energy, literally, like, oh shoot. And he started to get flustered, and he did walk into a couple of the traps that was set. My thing is, with something of this caliber, because this is probably maybe the final debate. Like, we may not get a third debate, right? His team, his handlers, his team, they should have been on this. I mean, you should have had a brains mapping store. You go on Lucid Chart or you go on Canva, but Lucid Chart is better. And you get one of them brain mapping storms, concept maps, brain maps, concept maps, and you put the talking points that the other side is going to bring up, the crafted responses. You got only 2 minutes, so maybe a crafted response that's about a minute long, and then if he felt more comfortable, then he can go off the cuff and continue for that extra minute, or craft it out for the whole 2 minutes. But that's not really how the human mind works to memorize things. But I do think like giving him a general concept, okay, this is how you respond to this with these couple of sentences, and then you can go off the cuff, and then whatever thing you want to add in it, you can add in it. I think that prep should have been done. If it was done, then it should have been more thorough. If there was uh, military style, the military science strategy, like you have to like literally, okay, this is how they're gonna combat you. That's how you have to look at it, and this is the type of defense you need to have. This is the type of offense you have to have. And so, if Trump's team did that, then they didn't do it well enough, and if they didn't do that, then they should start to do that. Um, you know, and I get that like he probably just wanted to do it. I don't want to prepare because I think he has said that. He said, I'm not preparing for the debate. I was the president for 4 years. I know how to do this. You have to understand. They know that Kamala's weakness is not speaking. It's not necessarily, they don't, I mean, they know that her weakness is not public speaking. So let me, because I'm using a double negative and it's twisted up the definition of what I'm trying to say. They know her weakness is public speaking. They know her weakness is public speaking. And so they know they have to go the extra mile to prepare her. She has to go the extra mile because it don't matter what her team or handlers do. She has to be the one at the end of the day to still perform, to still to perform on a world stage, literally, quite literally. And so they knew we got to have a plan, whatever it takes. And this is how they think, whatever it takes. Okay, so what? We got three moderators that's on our team that's already on our side. Fine, cool. We got ABC that they in our pocket. Cool. We gonna give you the questions beforehand. Cool. We got your AKA sister hosted it. Cool. We got they talk the air device pieces. We gonna have a we gonna say it real slow, and you gonna repeat exactly what we say in this air device. All types of shit. Like that's how they and by the time it's done, people are going to have the perception that she won the debate. The perception that she won the debate, that she was more prepared, that she had better answers, that she had, uh, you know. And so there was a highlights though of both. Well, obviously the biggest highlight was Trump's ending sentence, which he should have repeated 3 times during that debate, which was, "You're the president now. Like, why are we seeing these grand policies or these grand ideas implemented now? If you've been in office for 3 years, you're the vice president now." And so he said it towards the end. It should have been recited 3 times at different parts. That take no more than 15 seconds to say. So whatever responses he was going to give, but that should have been 3 times repetition. We're talking about craftsmanship here. 3 times he should have said it at different parts, and I'll play where he should have said it. But that was brilliant though, because it still was enough to where it overshadowed a lot of things, because it was the last statement. But I'm saying he should have said it last. That was perfect where it was at. He should have just said it 2 other times at certain critical parts of certain policies, particularly probably economy. And there was probably another one where we'll cover. Yeah, I'm thinking economy and maybe the healthcare one. We'll see. But there were certain parts where you have to drive home certain things, certain other elements that was not brought up should have been brought up. And I'll tell you which ones I feel, because actually I did share some things on just a random comment. It wasn't nothing too deep, but I did share, what I felt the debate, certain things about the debate, as far as things I think he should have said or add in, as far as the debate prep. And so, I'm well aware that there are some think tanks on some level, political think tanks or shadow stuff, whatever it is, that clearly watches or reviews my content. I've seen like ideas that I have publicly stated out on YouTube, and I've done it purposely, obviously, be implemented within a week, less than a week or two, maybe even a month, after drilling it home and then making sure that I at the person or whoever it's directed to, particularly ideas for the Trump campaign. And I know that there's a Republican think tank and conservative think tanks that watch my videos because I was in a circle that's literally only 2 degrees separation from Trump. I'm not saying I know Trump, I've met Trump. I'm not even capping like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I've in a circle where there are people that had either met with him or have worked with him on some part, or the campaign itself, So it's not like I'm just just far fetched, just making this stuff up. I have already documented it on my channel, the evidence of what I'm talking about, as far as like certain ideas that I'll put out there, and then you'll see like a month later or a couple of weeks later, it gets put out there in the campaigns. One of them being suggesting that Trump pardon Julian Assange. Literally, I want to say like less than 2 weeks later, Trump was on the news saying, well, he's considering pardoning Julian Assange, and then the Democrats hurry up and give him a plea and let him out. And the same thing happened with uh, the Space Force stuff. Said you need to add to Space Force when you do something with this. Add this a part of the legacy to start to get into exploring more matters of space. Then a month later, it's he adds the Space Force Reserve. I think it was less than a month, but also like the situation with the in that same video, I was talking about like JFK and the legacy and the space stuff, and then they come out with like this commercial a month later with RFK, JFK, and Trump talking about JFK's legacy. And so and another one, but I mean it just happens on multiple occasions. So I do know that on some level somebody's reviewing this content and will relay it through many channels they have to go through, or how uh whoever is the handlers on his team, they'll get him that they have given them this information. And so I say that to say that I put this stuff out publicly because it is a sort of a crafting of the algorithm, or programming of the algorithm, to try to shift a part of this matrix, a part of a certain way. And so that's the reason why it's not there's a method to the madness. It's not as much as much, it's like, well, these are kind of random. Like, why would you ask for like an AI executive order or a housing policy? Like, I just put it out in a video, and then it, the team, whoever gets it to whoever, then next thing you know, that it gets implemented somehow. And so there's a method to the madness, and those results will not be seen, possibly not even in within the next 4 years, like within this actual election. Like that's how serious this stuff is. And so these may seem like random things. It's like, okay, why are you pushing for certain things? There is a bigger setup in play. But like I said, I do know Republican and Democrat think tanks watch my channel. Even and then the whole machine shadow bans my channel uh, for obvious reasons. But I purposely give this free game because I do want to see certain things shift without having to be all up in the political fray, without having to be in the public, without having to be have my voice controlled, or be to be under contract or something like that. I just kind of like the way I do things and the way I interact with the system, uh, to just more of an observer, and like, okay, here's these things that I see, and but I have to say, I do want to cover some things I think that should have been added in here, and then we're just going to go through a review line, not line by line, but round by round, because I'm going to skip around. I'm not going to go through the whole debate because it's like 2 hours long almost. But again, I have to say, I don't work for free, and that's why I didn't do extensive. Like, I could have did a video on prep debate for Trump on YouTube, and I know for a fact it would have got somebody in his team would have somehow filtered it off to him, and they would have used some of those things, and if I would have done it that way. But I have to say, like, I can't do that much damn work for free. That's just entirely too much. We're talking about, like, you have to research, okay, and you need sort of data analytics to an extent to analyze, okay, here is the perception of Trump already, and this is how they've been able to exploit certain things, even his good traits. How could they exploit his good traits to turn it into a negative, which Kamala did very successfully. How do you get in front of the narrative? How do you appeal to people's emotions? How do you appeal to propaganda, public opinion, winning the hearts and minds of people? We're talking about like that's like frequency war at that point. Like that's like, how do you mind control someone? How do you program them? How do you use your heka or your words in your mouth and your mouthpiece to galvanize public opinion, to sway public opinion onto your side, or onto or to at least the perception of it? And so that's a lot of that. That takes your team has to prep for that, and they have to craft it out, and they have to do it in such an efficient way where the only thing he got to do is memorize about a good 20-second sentence, or even just the general topic, and be able to go off, because pretty much all you're doing is they only got 2 minutes per question or whatever. But you also have to strategize on what questions you think they're even going to bring up. What are the things that you already know? ABC is not polarized, biased. And so you have to think, okay, they're gonna bring up January 6th. They about to bring up that shit that happened with the with calling out her race. They're gonna bring up the stuff with the pandemic. They're gonna bring up deficits and things with the economy. That they are going to bring up some of the policies that actually give Americans tangibles. They're going to exploit that part. And so those are the obvious ones. But even just your ethos, your logos, these are things, your credos. That's how you have to approach these type of things. But you also have to tell a story. And see, this is how you sell a pitch, because this is the president of the United States corporation. I'm sorry, country. I'm speaking in code. And so you still have to have like a sales pitch, right? And so some of the most powerful sales pitches, they tell a story, And so when we first open up into the debate, and Trump starts to talk about the economy, I think it would have been so cool to tell the story of an average American that benefited from Trump's economy. His work with, he's had a recidivism program that brought people into work, created certain jobs. Like he say if you want to talk about how he created like a certain added more jobs to the economy. You say that statement because that's an objective fact. You give the statistic or the number. Oh, we created such and such number. You get the quantitative aspect, but then you want to get into the qualitative aspect, which is what humans are there. They like to hear that. And so that's when you say, you give them an emotional story of say the middle class family that applied. This is literally a true story. There's a guy that's talking about he applied for 2,000 jobs and couldn't find one with resume and with college degree. And now now this is a guy that's under Biden's economy. I have the article somewhere actually. This was just recent. Like this is a guy that said he applied for 2,000 jobs and couldn't find one. And we're talking about under Biden administration, and he's college educated and he doesn't have a record. And so, this post of him speaking of such things go viral. He could have brought that up, but first bring up a story of the success within your economy, a true story, like and you have these stories. There were even some Black Americans that were talking about how they had struggled beforehand with getting a job and finding work, and then they all of a sudden, was able to find things just due to I want to say it was the first step program or something like that. But it could be in any scenario. It doesn't have to just be relating to recidivism. That could be relating to a female that finds work, But it just has to be a middle class story that is real, that can be verified, that has already went viral on some level. And it tells a story of someone finding a work or becoming or there was people that invested in the stock market. Let's do one better. Trump had a what's the bull economy for until the pandemic hit, right? It was a good economy, a good market. could have one of them stories too. It was people that came up. I mean, they people that came up during that time. You know, you could have had a story like that, but just something quick. And again, you only get 2 minutes, so you give the, I would say, give the objective stats of the economy. So that is, we created such and such amount of jobs. We reduced this. We was able to secure this or whatever it is. And then, because again, this I don't work for free. Like this, I would just, you have to actually have to do research and be like, crap, put all this stuff together, right? And then you come with the story, 30, maybe 30 seconds of a story of this. We had such and such. They couldn't find work. They applied for 500 jobs under the previous administration, and they was able to find work, start a business. They was able to start a business. They invested in the stock market. This is what, that's just anecdotal, but we have many of Americans that had that testimony. So that's how you do that. And then you could bring up how the story of how in her economy, there's literally a guy that just 2,000 jobs, and he has not been able to find one. He's a college student. He's graduated. And then you get more into the objectives about what you would do. Then you spend that, I would say, spend 30, 30, 15, 30, 30. And then you have your last minute to talk about what you would then do as far as your economic plan. And then that's when you would get into the sovereign wealth fund, government efficiency, housing. Well, the housing policy wouldn't become yet, but investment in jobs, investment in apprenticeships. Speaking in code, you have to invest in that. But that's how you would do that, and you take a minute to do that, and then it goes to the next person. I'm still trying to look for that article. I can't find it, but nonetheless, then another thing that could have been brought up in terms of questions maybe of efficiency or the border in particular, when we bring up border czar and all this stuff, would have been a perfect opportunity to bring up how at the border there were 291,000 children missing under the administration. You see this right on my YouTube channel, right? I'm sorry, right on my Twitter page. I posted this September 11th, 2024. I just want to give you an example of how I so that people don't be thinking like, oh, that's you think that they be watching your stuff. There ain't nobody watching your stuff. I want to give you this example. Look at this. He could have brought up 200. Mind you, this is about the debate. He could have brought up the 291,000 missing children under administration and how he plans to crack down on human and child trafficking. When was this published? September 11th, 2024, right? Look at this. Just programming the matrix. I did post this 3 hours ago. Now, look at this. You just saw me show you the screen, the shot of when I published it, September 11th. Right here. September 11th at 7:15 p.m. Look what happens today, 5 hours ago, breaking. Look at this, September 13th, 1:42 p.m. Trump just said Kamala Harris is currently facilitating the largest waves of sex trafficking and human trafficking in history. He's not holding back anymore. 325,000 migrant children are missing. Many of them are, going through trafficking. And so he said this today, September 13th, 1:42. Now that's what I was saying. He should have brought it up in a debate. They might have probably took him off the air for that. I don't know. But I think he should have brought that up during the debate. But just mind you, you could see right here, I add him. And so I'm not saying he personally did it. I'm pretty sure maybe he's not even monitoring that account, but I'm saying his team, somebody on his team, because it happens so much. We're talking about a week apart. Like this is days apart now. It's like literally days. And so, that's just how these things work. But I just wanted to give you an example, and I'm telling you, I have like now 5 examples: the Julian Assange thing, the Space Force, the RFK JFK thing. It's like when I put this stuff publicly, somebody on the team says, "Okay," and I've been doing that purposely, and I could have done that for this debate, but I'm not working for free. Nah, that's just too much. Nah, because now we talking about like having to go and craft, go and get a whole lucid chart, go and do all the actual concrete research to get, you have to go and get the numbers actually for, okay, what was the actual objective facts about the state of Trump's economy in comparison to this economy. What was the state of the border? You have to actually go and get the actual the quantitative aspects, but then you got to bring it with the qualitative aspects, understanding the American people, what humans want to hear, you know. And I made it very clear. The reason why I'm backing Trump is because he's cracking down on this trafficking. He is cracking down on this trafficking. And he said he's going after the deep state. Now, we have seen proof of these executive orders that have already been passed in 2016, fighting human trafficking, fighting the things that are happening with children, with children and women. And so that is the short end of it. That's where it's for me. Now, we're talking about when Kamala started. I'm sorry, when the election, when the campaign rather started, it was for Biden. And obviously, if you have a choice between Biden and Trump, come on. When we saw how Biden was carrying on, and so that's what it was for me. So then Kamala comes in. Really don't have no issue with her. Don't have no, like, I don't have no vengeance. I'm talking about, like, they switched the candidate. Y'all switched the candidate. Now, do I think Kamala needs considerable development? She's not prepared for no presidential election. I don't have no beef with her. I don't have no personal issues with this lady at all. But just objectively, she needs more preparation, and that's up to her team to do that. To me, it appears that she's too controlled. To be honest, it appears that she's too controlled, or or that it's something just it's just, for me, it's a no. Now, I would love a female president of the United States, but that this I think either she needs the more development, a good maybe 8 years of development before she gets that position, or it needs to go to someone that's more thorough and competent. As simple as that. If you want to put a woman up there, but she becomes the candidacy. And so, yes, there's a different surge of energy within the Democratic Party. It's not necessarily enough, but this is a whole nother ballpark, because it's a different, it's a different connections, different backing. She has the backing of our Black bourgeoisie. It is what it is. And, some of the policies that she's even talking about is even more advantageous on some levels, but then they're harmful on levels, on other levels. But nonetheless, I still would prefer a Trump presidency. I'm not for one party or the other. I have always been registered independent, but I have to say, for what I'm seeing, for what I've been seeing, neither one has been really stepping up to the plate like how the American people need them. That's how I feel. The Republican nor the Democratic Party have been stepping up enough the way the American people needs them to. Speaking to the needs of the people and how they're going to enact good ethical governance. Now, obviously, there's a lot of corruption, and we know that there's a lot of corruption. And so I wanted to go with who I felt was less corrupt. Whether one is more corrupt than the other, we can have that debate. That's not the point. But I feel like when someone says that they're going to go after the deep state, and when I see the machine going after certain things and trying to cover up, I just see the way they move. I'm seeing the way people move, and I'm like, nah, it's something that they trying to cover up. And what I appreciate the most is cracking down on that child trafficking. I don't even know if we could say that on YouTube, but that's what I like the most. Anybody that's going to, and if it was Kamala, had that same uh, uh, objective, and that those same, like, oh, we're going to go after the corruption. We're going to do things for the American people. We're going to invest in American people. We're going to stop all child trafficking. We're going to give harsh penalties for anybody that's doing human trafficking. Now, if she would have said that, she would have been, I would have been rooting for her, obviously. I don't care about I care about the issues, and for one, and I know people want people to just go on this gang cult mentality, or it's one side, you got to choose a side or the other. I choose based on an interest that I care about as a watcher, as a high priestess. Like the issues that is important to me. That's and the way I can craft this system in a way that is more just. That's what I care about. And so I know people want to get into groupthink. Oh, you got to roll with this, you got to roll with that. I back who I back, and I said what I said. So if I said that I fucks with you and I'm loyal to you, then that's what it is, And so that doesn't mean I'm a yes man, but like for now, it is Trump. For now, even if I don't agree with everything he do and everything he say, and even I think he did not prepare as well for that debate. I don't think he prepared well, but that don't mean that I'm going to jump ship. Oh yeah, come on. No, the circumstances have changed. Biden is not the candidate anymore. Kamala is the candidate, and it to me, I don't feel like I feel like it's fake to just to kind of switch on that level. Like I'm like, okay, I already been saying this is where I'm rolling, but even though I don't have no beef with Kamala, and I don't like what she's doing on the border. I just for us to have the first female candidacy running for president, I want to see that look crafted and look a certain way, and I don't like how it looks like she's being handled with not kitten gloves, because that's not it. She takes a beating, but like she's being handheld. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like she's being handheld throughout, through in this position, and I do think a woman is very much capable of being a president of any country. I just here's the thing. Now we're about to get esoteric. Fuck it, we're getting real esoteric here. With these cults and with these societies, they turn the divine feminine into a puppet. They turn the divine feminine, women who have natural gifts, women who are naturally high priestesses, that is in their blood for like thousands of years. They turn those women kind of into puppets where, yeah, they put them on a pedestal. Like they may even, she names Kamala Devi, right? She's a goddess. Like, okay, you're the goddess and you're the vice president, of the greatest country in the world. Like you are the goddess Kamala, and this is how, this is how they think. I'm talking about the societies that back that goes on bloodline and gang. Whether that be Black Venetian nobility, the secret societies, whatever. These male dominated secret societies, though, they know the power that's already on certain females, but they want to control that. And so they'll give you the positions of power. They'll be able to decide where you can go, or even what you can do and craft out. But the full power of the divine feminine of the self is never fully activated, because for somehow these men who have stolen this knowledge from the queen mothership, from the matriarch, they somehow feel like they are the arbiters of which female is worthy, for one, and which female even gets that knowledge, even gets access to the knowledge of the divine feminine, mind you, that they stole and hid and brain, and reversed engineered for their benefit, while having the rest of the world practice patriarchy. And so the issue is not her being a female at all. I think that there is a female that can be capable of the presidency. But the thing is, it's like they're doing the thinking for her, or okay, you have to do this, you have to dress like this, you have to do, and that her energy is stifled, and I feel that her energy as a divine feminine, as a female, is stifled because of these handlers, because of these making her into a puppet. Like, say this, do this. They scripted her grocery shopping. Like they literally had they like take one, take two of her buying a bag of Doritos at the corner store, at the gas station. Like like that's they scripted that out. Like they show it was like acting, like her acting like that's creepy. Like where's the natural? Like things should be more natural flowing than that. And so when Trump goes in there, Chick-fil-A, and he said, "I'll give me 30 milkshakes and some chicken," that's not scripted. Now they might have still getting a propaganda moment. Don't get me wrong. It's all getting a propaganda moment, but we're talking about they were scripted. When Trump did that, it was just natural. But then, like when Kamala goes into the grocery store, she gets the bag of chips, and I guess they didn't do it right, so they made her do it again. So it's not like, okay, we're just filming her going to the store and buying some chips. No, it's like it's acting like take one, two, three, go. She goes and get the chips. Oh, you didn't do it right, and then they refilmed it again. And this is stuff that's like obviously that's not on mainstream news, but I saw the clip of this with my own eyes, and so I'm thinking like that's absolutely ludicrous. And so she's too controlled. Whoever her team is or whatever, it's like that's not when we have a female presidency. No, that's not how it works. That's not how you honor the divine feminine. Do you know how powerful chaos intelligence is? Do you know how powerful the divine feminine is? And they reverse, like, the thing is they know that's where the power is at. So the secret society, the deep state, the shadow government, that's all they operate off. That's the power of the occult. But it's like bastardized, because it's like, okay, we still have it's like they want to control that power to an extent. And so what happens is that the whole system suffers, though. The whole system suffers because that full embodiment of genius of this of what we call chaos intelligence, or your guy's understanding of entropy is a little skewed, but the idea of the mystery, the darkness of the divine feminine, the mystery, the intuitive realm, this this seemingly random, this entropic vector space, vortex space that can't be quantified, that can't be measured. There's no angles, there's spirals. When we think of the spirals of the Fibonacci of certain patterns that you see in nature, uh, that energy is incredibly genius in a very chaotic sense. And so by that, it's like the way that order out of chaos actually comes together. And I've witnessed like God doing this. Like I've literally been able to see, just through meditative trances, I've been able to see this, how genius this system, like not this system, but I'm saying like the universe, cosmic system, like it's like a level of I don't even have the words to describe that. I just don't. There's no way to describe that level of genius. And so it's been revealed to me that is a intelligent substance, kind of like melanin, an intelligent substance, like the it's like an abstract thought of what the personification of, like, what consciousness would be, or the personification of what melanin would be, the personification of what entropy would be, the personification of what dark energy would be in the universe. Like that's a level of that formula, or that substance is found in females. I'm not saying it's not found in males, because every species has what, a male and female component that must be balanced and aligned. I'm not saying that males don't have this, because actually some males do, uh, depending on how balanced they are with how tuned in they're in with their divine feminine. Um, but that aspect of the yin, that is in the females, some more than others. You have homunculus female, just like sometimes it's found more in men than others. Not on orientation level. We're talking about the alignment and tuning in of energy, your actual brain state, not going into the actual political aspects of gender, of course. But when it comes to Kamala, the deep state, I have to say, like, her hand, y'all control, y'all gotta find either you have to develop her or find a better candidate for that role, because she is a high priestess and that's her role, but so they put her in, the vice president. But when we talk about thoroughness, and when we talking about like someone that understands the entirety of infrastructure on a governance level, she needs development in that area. We're talking about like I'm not saying they have to be on a level of Hatchet Split, because we have to hold the men up to that same level as well, right? You can't just have these ridiculous standards for the women and not have that same for the men. No, I'm telling you, we want a golden age for America. And so whoever, embodies this, what we're looking for, this is, it's a very high ordered governance of the divine feminine, of the queen mothership. And so, though we'll be talking about this golden age for America, like a golden age for America, where we see the alignment between North American land and governance, as well as um, we see the alignment between that in a healthy way, but we also see the government benefit the people. We also see the less corruption. We see the prosecution of corruption. We see justice in many forms. We see opportunities for people. We see people being able to have access. People being able to have trust again, have faith again. And so when we talk about that type of, and also building our allies, building, making sure people are taken care of, making sure our own people are taken care of first in America. Our own people are taken care of first. Our lakes are cleaned, our rivers are cleaned, our food is healthy, our animals are good, our economy is good, our systems are efficient, our technology is good and competitive, our systems are secure, all of our cybersecurity systems are secure, nobody can hack into our shit and release all Americans damn social security numbers. That just happened under this administration. All of your all of your social security numbers were breached. You guys do know that. So, and then we keep getting breached. We keep getting these, like, so it's like, well, what's going on? Is someone selling our information, or is somebody be able to hack? Do we have vulnerabilities in our systems? And yes, that's not necessarily the role of government to regulate our tech like that, but this the perception of competency of American companies under American government under this current administration is not looking too good. You know, that should have never happened. And yes, a part of being a president is risk management. Like if you're a president of any country, you still have to deal with risk management, and you have to deal with the welfare of all systems, of all aspects, of all departments. And so when someone can just hack into even our technology, it keeps happening. It speaks volumes. It says a lot. It says a lot. Like somebody think they can test you. That's what it says. Somebody think they can test us, and people think they can test. That's what's been happening. It's like, okay, well, we're going to test their systems. I mean, come on. Or there's incompetency, or there's people that's within America that's doing fuckery too, that's doing corruption. Look at how they just rated NYC mayor, was his mayor, Eric Adams, and then his whole team is getting raided, and then Eric Raban resigns yesterday. And so it's a lot going on. It's a lot. And the crackdown going on in Tennessee. It's going to be more of that everywhere. It's going to be more. It's going to be a lot of stuff that come out. It's going to be a lot of shit that come out. But it's like when we talk about this golden age for America, we are talking about obviously something that has not been seen before, but also with respect to the traditions of greatness within great civilizations that have already existed. The merging of the future innovation, the future of where humanity can go if they have a say, and if they empower themselves, but also if they hold their government accountable. If they hold their government accountable, that's a bright future. I think positive. I know that there's people that's worried and freaking out about the economy and freaking out about money and freaking out about matrix shit, but collectively you have most influence over the way the system is ran, and humans don't believe that. Americans have more influence over how the system is ran over anything else if they understand what's programming them and what's in their consciousness. If they understand, okay, what's propaganda? They develop discernment. If they developed a fucking backbone and stand up for themselves, if they speak out against things that they know that they see being done wrong, that you have the most influence. If they determine where their energy is going to go, if they determine, okay, that's a distraction, it's not a distraction. We demand our government do this. We demand our government do that. We demand, more for our people. They instead of them just 24/7 brainwashing people through their spell casting, telling lies to your vision through the programming, the broadcasting television, through the news, through the news. I'm telling you, that's your biggest spellcaster. That's your biggest programming apparatus right there. That gets you in a whole trance. And that, let alone, obviously these Disney and Nickelodeon and all that. We already know about all that. That ain't nothing new. But yeah, they're like, okay, we need you to go with our agenda. And so they focus 24/7 on how to program the American people. But when are the American people gonna program the damn government? And so, yeah, you have to work collectively together and push your interests and say, we won't engage unless you follow what our interests are as the American people. And so that's a part of the element of the golden age, but also excellent, ethical, brilliant, morning star like competency of our leaders, the president, vice president, Congress, judge, all that. Not just, okay, you've been doing things off of nepotism. You've been doing things off of who fucking and sucking to get to the top. You've been doing things on who gives a deal, who gives a this, who gives a favor, who joins an oath, who takes an oath. That system we want done, it is not a brilliant energy. It's not a light energy. And not light, like we're talking about like literal phosphorus, like fluorine, like photons, like quantum shit, like light, like pure spark from biotic, sentient darkness, sentient chaos intelligence. That spark that said, "Let there be light." That spoke through resonance. That spoke a, that's that spoke a particular resonance through a heka. That this breath, let there be light. In the world, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Um, that we want to see that. And we want like, we don't want actors and puppets. It's like either the beings, you Tartarian descendants and all that. Y'all gonna have to come out. You Lemurian, the descendants, you Atlantean. Yeah, we about to go deep. I know we going esoteric, but y'all need to come out. And all of and by that I mean awaken the DNA, awaken your epigenetics, and awaken that ancestral, within, so that we can get them type of leaders. Because right now we seeing just all types of incompetency, and I think that it exists even within. I think a lot of it's being suppressed. So I don't want people to think I'm trying to attack, what's the people in positions now. What I'm saying is a lot of even gifted people within, the gifted politicians and politicians that care for the people, that energy is being suppressed. Even those that have that's already in office, it's being still suppressed. So we're talking about a complete overhaul of the governance, the criteria, not even necessarily the qualifications, but the criteria, at least in the characteristic sense of what gets programmed, of what people value and what society values in their leaders. But like it really has to be authentic. And so that's that when we talk about this golden age, that has to we want, and I'm not talking about Trump or Kamala at this point. I'm just talking about future incumbencies or future candidates. Yeah, the standard is going to be much higher, because in order to bridge that gap in interdimensionality between planet Earth and the universe and the cosmos, and bring planet Earth up to speed, because there are certain portals that are now open, and it's a lot more open interdimensionally in terms of like your prospects for quantum teleportation with your satellites and other satellites, uh planets, it's going to be it already expanded. I'll say that it already expanded. There's already radio signals that have already been documented. They already found that that there was a radio signal from, like, I want to say like 800 light years, or 800 million light years away, or some shit like that, that had finally reached planet Earth in 2023. A radio signal. And so, yes, like when we talk about like quantum teleportation and deep space and understanding dark energy and understanding qualitative aspects of the mystery of the unknown universe. Now we're talking about the divine feminine, your dark energy, your entropy, your probability distribution. We will not be teaching you guys FTL anytime soon on this planet. Y'all can forget it. Also, the return of certain governances that were gifted to humanity and had been overthrown or hidden for whatever reasons, such as like the Order of Kali, the Order of Tahuti. This is what we're merging in. So it is a governance structure, but the most important thing is that is in balance, and that is in alignment with universal law and the laws of nature, and that is beneficial to this planet and to planet Earth. Planet Earth is uh, going through its own stages, and so we have to evolve with her. Or when she take our asses out, don't say nothing. When she decide to tumble through and run through this bitch with tornado, earthquake, solar flare. Are we good for a solar flare? Y'all already know that. When we decide to run through this bitch, run for cover, and you just go to another dimension that will be higher, and where you'll be um, in sort of a incubator to develop, and then be able to move on to your next transitory state. There's other schools besides planet Earth, by the way. Um, some don't even have free will. So you got quite lucky because you've been able to do what the fuck you want to do, right? Planet Earth for the most part. But again, like I was saying in my previous video, there's been an imbalance of the frequencies on planet Earth, and so the pendulum is switching is switching the other way. There's been aspects of that are hidden from the public, and just in general, they are unaware that there are shadow government, that there are different systems at war with each other on planet Earth. That they don't understand that even the mainframe. Let's go very deep. The mainframe of the computational algorithm of this Earth matrix, this dimension, planet Earth, was literally hijacked. Some of my ancestors said stop saying hijack because they sold it. They sold out. But I say the mainframe of the interface of how you as far as the governance rulers, the actual royal bloodlines, the shit was hijacked, um, and sold to other bloodlines that did not understand the esoteric sciences to run those systems. These are royal mystery sciences for bloodlines to govern their people, their constituents, their people, though, but in a way where it produces the greatest civilizations ever on Earth, the most really advanced shit. And so that system, that mainframe had been hijacked. And so though the computational algorithm is still the same in terms of planet Earth being this sort of play net in school where you can evolve, have free will, have some pleasure, have some fun, understand contrast, understand your adversarial aspects of the self, understand the shadow aspects of the self that need to be integrated in with your higher self in a way that is balanced. Um, and also, planet Earth is a place where you can find, taxonomy, because at the highest levels it is just bliss, and so you don't get to descend into all these different resonances of the different emotions of okay, separation and anxiety and resentment, anger, love, joy, lust, desire, unbridled desire, base level governing force, animalistic tendencies, um, you know, uh, joy, compassion, family, children. Those things that could be experienced on planet Earth in a variety of polarities and variety of even be able to reverse engineer some of the universal laws, will you? Not entirely, but you guys get what I'm saying. That that ability on planet Earth is a lot of people love to come. A lot of souls. I'll say a lot of souls, not people, but a lot of souls like to come because you don't necessarily have to be a person to be a soul, right? But a lot of souls like to come on planet Earth in physical flesh, even if it's sometimes not even just as a human, because the elephants are more evolved than humans, as you know. Some of them, I mean, you know how much of a blessing it is to come back as a fucking elephant. Uh, Sans the poaching, obviously, but can you imagine being able to come back as a lion? A lot of people think that the humans have the highest pinnacle of consciousness, and so may they have the ability, to uh, have more discernment or more awareness than the animal. It is speculated in some cultures that the reason is because animals, the reason the animals don't have that level of awareness is because they already learned all life lessons in a previous lifetime. And so they don't need to go through the contrast aspect or the taxonomy duality of learning on planet Earth. They don't necessarily need that. So some people think it's a blessing. Some cultures think it's a blessing to come back, say, as a lion, or I know you guys saw that YouTube video. There's a beautiful lady. She has these dogs. She's like viral. She has like millions of subscribers, and she has like these two dogs that she pampers. Like her stuff goes viral from her. Like, it shows her bathing her dogs, right, with the greatest. Like she cooks them steak. We're talking about steak, sweet potatoes, and she preps them. She shows them. She gives them manicures, paint their. I mean, can this dog is? Imagine just being that dog. Like, we're talking about, she was cooking them steak. She gives them baths. She giving them bubble baths with the massager. She's combing there. She gives them shea butter. Put shea butter on them, coconut oil on it. Like that, it's mind blowing. And so I'm like, imagine being able to reincarnate as that dog with that, or to come back in as that dog. What is that the worst life compared to having to work 9 to 5? I mean, that dog is more pampered than humans that work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. You got to work at Walmart or some shit, or at Target for 40 hours a week, or even as a lawyer at a law firm, 40 hours a week on your feet and shit, and having to drive in traffic for 30 minutes and shit, and pay bills and and pay a mortgage and pay this and pay that. And this damn dog ain't doing a damn thing. This lady, she cook them steak. We talking about, she give them rice, broccoli, organic shit too. She was getting them organic cucumbers and all types of stuff. And she brushes their teeth. She cleans their paws with coconut oil and shea butter, and it's just they drink bottled water. Dogs. This black lady is treating these. I mean, and they're like her, and then they're famous all over YouTube. I mean, they have the life. And so, when we think about, like, oh, I don't want to incarnate as an animal. I'm not saying do that. I don't care what anybody does, right? The point is, like, it's a different perspective when we talk about, like, oh, you don't want to reincarnate as a dog in your next lifetime because that means you weren't shit. Or did it really mean that? If you come back like that versus the homeless crackhead or something, So I mean, which one is really better? The person that has to, work 60 hours a week. I mean, which life would you take? But nonetheless, golden age for America. That was a big tangent. It's a huge tangent. But yes, the systems were hijacked. The mainframe of the computational algorithm of the universe was hijacked, and it's the information of the mystery sciences were misinterpreted, reverse engineered, bastardized by not just humans, but hybrids. I'm going to get into all of that. I mean, it's too deep. That's way too deep. But they themselves don't even understand that information, and so they've run this system into the ground. As you can see, it's 2024. And you see the Hopi Indian prophecy come true, and many other biblical prophecies and other cultural prophecies come true in this day and age, and we're seeing that. But you'll see, end of the age, and in a calling to something that's much higher for all of us. That's much better for all of us, emotional wise. And spiritually wise, and physically too. And so we're in that day. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom, and a lot of people feel that way. I just don't see the world that way. I'm like, I see this as a wave of more enlightenment, more innovation, more balance, more love, more collaboration, with the universe, with each other, with our earth. And so that's what I see this day as, in terms of the systems that we see shifting. And other people don't, they may not see that way. There's people who are obsessed with power, who are narcissistic, who have gotten off of causing pain to other people, literally got off of it, literally made money off of it, only know how to make money off of doing that. And so we're seeing those systems fade. And so they're not going to go out without a fight, though. They're going to hold up their dukes to the end to try to keep this in play. Now, this stuff rolls interdimensionally through consciousness. And so most humans are not privy on how you shift the matrix, or how a secret society can run a government behind the scenes, or how you can have aspects be ran interdimensionally. We won't get into all of that, because I don't expect the average human to understand all that just yet. I think you will eventually, or many of you do. But eventually, that this what I'm saying become common knowledge. But the mainframe of the interface of the system is going back to the heirs. It's as simple as that. Going back to the bloodlines that designed it, even if they don't remember how to design it, even if they don't remember all of their information, that awakening comes from God. And so they will get there. They will go through the phases of that awakening when they can handle it at different phases of their life. But make no mistake about it, the main interface of this vector space that you guys created, this matrix, as you guys say, that you guys inserted false programs in, reverse engineered some of the algorithm, or just didn't even understand some of the algorithm. That whole system, entire system, on a much higher level than 3D, by the way, that still governs Earth, though. That's being taken from the people that bought it, and the people that hijacked it, and being given back to the other bloodlines. Now, I don't expect the average American to understand that, but that's what's happening in real time. You can see some of it playing out, and a lot of it is just a stage. A lot of it is just a movie script playing out for you guys, so that humans, Americans, don't panic and start running amok and acting a fool if they were to find out how this stuff is really ran, or what the universe really is, and what our planet Earth really is, and what uh, they really are. Like you don't need people acting a plumb fool, or if they were to even discover the hijacking, the deception, the corruption. It's like, well, you deal with it and it stops, but then you got to stop the bleeding, and you have to cause less damage psychologically to people, and awaking them at stages where they can't accept that. And that even goes for me. For me, it's in stages. So I know it's stages for everybody else, because if it was to just hit you all at once, obviously you'll lose it. Just a little bit of awakening that many of us had, it kind of made us like, whoa. And so you have to come back. You have to stay grounded. So that's why it's kind of like a drip feed content into humanity's awakening. And I'm telling you that as a prophet, like, you have to have a drip feed content at this. So things are, you're kind of being babied a little bit. Some of you are much, 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 much more advanced, even more than me. And you're already ahead of the game. You don't need no drip feed content. You already past go. You already know how it is, what it's about, what is going on, what they've been doing, what they've been lying about, what they hiding. What you already know. You already understand yourself. You don't awaken some things. You move and shake how you move. But the rest of humanity has to be caught up considerably, if they want to, because you do have, this is a free will planet. So if they want to, there's consequences though for not. But I have to say, like, some people, they are okay with those consequences, because they just cannot go to the light. No, I'm kidding. No, they just cannot get right. It's just like, no, we're not, because this is our way of life, and this is what we believe in. So there is no um there is no surrender. Like, this is what we have always known, this is what we have always done. So when they tell us that they not gonna stop messing with them kids and doing this, and stop fucking up people's text, you don't understand their science. Stop messing with primordial science that you don't understand. And they say, no, we gonna do whatever. Da, da, da. Okay, cool. There's consequences though, because we gave you the warning, and so like, and we don't even have anything to do with that. It's just like more so like there's cause and effect. There's input output, and so you're pretty much self destructing. The algorithm that you're creating is one where it's auto deleting pretty much. It's like you're writing an algorithm that will auto delete itself, or it's program itself to self destruct, or it'll crack that particular matrix, and something will get deleted or corrupted. A file will get corrupted. The universe will delete it, and then uh, that which can be salvaged will go on into another resonance that's already in existence, and so that that vortex space, those vortex spaces rather, because now we're talking about like a blowing up of an entire planet. Uh, those vortex spaces will go into new matrices, will you, based on that particular resonance. And it can't be too low because the ones that were already too low governing force was already auto deleted. The algorithm was already uh, deleted itself. And so now we're talking about people essentially becoming free either way, and being able to spinal off into their own reality, and hopefully it's one where they can continue to evolve and continue to grow, and that's how these things work. And some, they're going to literally be in heaven. That's very complex, because now we're talking about like a, a vector, a vortex space spiraling off into their silos of resonance and consciousness. And in some people's are high enough where it's like a heaven state of mind. That's what we mean. Now, again, we're coming from the thought that you guys already know the universe is mental in some aspect, or that you are a microcosm of the universe, that you're made in the image of God. That's the simple way. You're made in the image of God. I'll just say that. That's the simple way. And so you're already, that should be the understanding. But for those that are somewhat that maybe know a little more, they're coming from the standpoint of the universe is mental. That's just the basic building block that you would need to understand to follow my train of thought when I'm talking about like universal consciousness and computational algorithm of the universe. It mimics very much so. Well, the internet mimics the inner workings and networks of the universe, but that's kind of even a bad comparison compared to what we're talking about. What we have is kind of like child's play, compared to what is there and what others have created and what God has created herself. And so it's deep. But yes, we want this golden age for America. We want competent ass candidates, good candidates. We don't care about race, gender, none of that. But uh, we want to see good competition between these candidates, and we want to see them bringing up policies that's going to benefit the economy, the American people, uh, the country, the world, all types of shit. We want to see a competition of that. We want to be able to get a motherfucking bowl of popcorn for the next debate, and see and really see them get down. That's what we would like, with good policies, rational. We would be judging based on if it's feasible, if it's rational, if it's beneficial to the American people or to planet Earth or to the technology and innovation of the country, if it's beneficial to the self awareness of the country as well. You know, um, is it beneficial to the economy? We gonna be looking at that type shit. We want to know what's your take on uh foreign policies. What's your take on how we should run this military? We want to see that. I really would have liked to see. And that's another thing Trump should have. You see how Kamala team? See, I'm telling you, they be. Oh, they so cunning. Did you see in the debate how um Kamala kept referencing how the military thinks that Trump is a disgrace? That was brilliant, and that was something that I thought he should have been doing. And I was shocked. I was like, damn, she got it. Because that's literally like when we talk about strategy, that's the type of stuff you go for. That's the type of stuff that like you literally like you have to weaponize. You have to even if you don't have it, you have to pretend like you have the whole military industrial complex backing you. Like like there because that's your security, that's your power. That's I mean it's just the resonance of the words and what the words mean themselves. We're talking about US military. And so just her saying that was like bam. It's not even proud. I don't even think I don't it's not even that I don't think, but I spiritually know that that's not true. Now, is there people in the military that probably don't like Trump? Of course. But we talking about that's not even true. But I mean, maybe there were. I'm not saying what she said was not true. I'm just saying, like, to say that all of our military just think Trump's, the way that's the way I'm telling you, the way they spin words. But she said it was. She said I talked to several of our military, and they probably did. Maybe a couple of them probably really did say that. Maybe they did because they don't like him or whatever. But to the way that just a simple statement like that, and to be honest, that's the type of work that somebody on Trump's team should have been doing too. And I'm telling you, I cannot do that type of work for free on the internet like that. But I'm telling you, he should have had something crafted out just like that to make it to just. I got the backing. I have protection. I have the backing of our. If you don't have the backing of the military, you're screwed. And so that's why he needed to say, like that's how she came off. It was brilliant. I said, who thought of that? Because you know what? I actually had I just before this debate, and this is on my once again, I have time stamp proof of what I'm talking about. Just last week, before this debate, I had said that Trump had the backing of the military on my Twitter on my Twitter feed. It is available for public consumption. Matter of fact, let's go to it. Let's go. Let's just stop playing because I'm telling you, these people be because I had got involved with a group of people that's heavily involved in politics that work with these people, so I know that it's not far fetched. Like I know what I'm talking about when I say like just last week I had just said Trump has the backing of the military and da da da. I was just talking shit. I'll just be on Twitter talking. I'll be talking a gang of shit. I'm harmless, but uh I had just said that, and then she brought that up, and I said, "See, that's the type of shit he should have been doing, even if it's not true." I'm looking for that where I had put it on here. I know I did. I gotta show it, but let me just focus for a little bit so I can find it. I hope I didn't skip it. Now I gotta hope I didn't skip it. Let's see. No, I don't think it was that far back. Still looking for it, guys. Oh. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Yep, here we go right here. I found it. It was August 27th. It says the highest levels of our military and some of our intelligence agencies are backing Trump, and our side is getting real and he can feel it. And so when she brought that up, I said that was the perfect strategy. That was smart to do on her part. It really was. It might not have been true. It's just the optics of like, okay, wow. Like for people that's like what y'all call low information voter, or people that maybe that's on the fence, that they maybe haven't even decided yet. When they hear like, oh, what they said that, what they said that, that's just how that and it gets interpreted. And so that's just how you have to craft your words and your strategy. And so that's what she did. Also I think because I'm at the divvy back more. We're going to get less esoteric now and get more into the actual logistics of what took place. And so during the first part of the debate with the questions about the economy, if you notice, like I think he should have mentioned something with the apprenticeship, something with apprenticeship programs, something with investment in housing, and something with unions. It should have started off again, like we talked about earlier. Sales pitch, start with the story of actually start with the objective facts, just some hard numbers, 30 seconds of hard numbers. Then a story of success of an anecdote of a real American story, and then a story of failure within the current administration of a real American story, like the person that was applying for 2,000 jobs and still they couldn't find one. And then your actual policies, and that's where you would mention, would bring it back, paid on the job learning, apprenticeship programs where people will be able to work while they're learning and not have to take out student loan debt, shit like that. Apprenticeship program. We're going to be doing investment in our infrastructure with the sovereign wealth fund, which means we'll be able to employ people. We're going to do some deregulations of certain things that will allow people to participate more in the free market or the market, be able to get into investments, just something like that, or something with unions. I think that would have been something to important for that first economy question, to actually show like what is the plan, and amongst other things of the economy. Even if you talked about the sovereign wealth fund, which maybe in simple terms, that's a little maybe a little too complex for the American population, but something relating to what would actually be done for the American people. Obviously, the tax cuts as well. The tax cuts for the Social Security, the tax cuts for I think you cut taxes in, what was it? Tips, and it was a new one that was just talked about today or yesterday. But anyways, the tax cuts or whatever and shit like that, but stuff that actually benefits the American people. I think that question sounded way too corporate. It sounded like you were talking to a room of shareholders, or a room of like a board of directors or something. Where that's honestly what Trump's first answer to the economy question. That's what it sounded like to me. That he was talking to a room of shareholders, and it did not resonate with the American people. Now Kamala, on the other hand, her response did resonate with the American people. Because she talked about, she's going to give the $6,000 credit and then the $25,000, even if it's feasible or not, or even if she's going to do it or not. It's just the sonics. It sounds good on paper. Like, okay, given in this economy with this inflation. Now, like, why didn't you guys get to it in its 3 years? Like, that should have been where you bring that up. Well, you had all this time, look at our inflation. Look at inflation. Like, talk about maybe some concrete numbers about the actual state of inflation being, with some products being, I mean, you can even name, like, there's a couple of products in the consumer market that are 50% inflated, 80% inflated. You can name some of those things. And then overall inflation, that type of stuff. And so that's one thing. Another thing that I feel is that, the question about the race. Now, you should have known they was going to bring that up. So I don't understand why his team didn't help him prepare for that. Like, why? Like, they was gonna bring up, why did you say that she wasn't black? Like, and then it was like, then he said something like, oh, I don't know, when asked about it. And I had felt like this is how he should have answered. He should have said, I read from a mainstream source that Kamala was Asian. Then the media switched it to black. Then I read it was black. Or just I read it was black. So many Americans wanted clarity. Or maybe you would leave that part out, because that's actually seconds that could be cut out. Leave that part out and say, also, some Black Americans voiced concern to me about the authenticity of the media representation of their ethnicity. So perhaps it is not my place to speak on their behalf. But I wanted to acknowledge some of the Black American ethnicity. That's a fact. Like, this is not even like a lie. Like, there's mad Black Americans that's all on YouTube talking about that. Like, it's like women, men that are talking about that. Is it important? No, but the media is trying to make it important. The media is trying to do a representation of one thing, and then people are just calling it out. It's as simple as that. It's just merely calling it out. But no, on its surface level, it's not important. There's much bigger fish to fry, but they keep bringing this up and using like the media keeps coming up with these scenarios that look scripted, that look that with the collard greens, or with the stuff with the collard greens in a bathtub and all that. And so people gonna say things. It's public consumption, so people are gonna have an opinion on it, whether it's important or not, whether it's a distraction or not. Because I personally think a lot of it is a distraction. A lot of that was a distraction, but it was started by the Democratic engine to distract. That was done by design because they wanted to characterize it one way when um, Kamala, should be focused more. Like I would say, she should just be being herself. Like, yeah, she's East Asian and Jamaican, and that's cool. She's a woman of color. She would qualify to be say she's a woman of color. She's East Indian, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? And so I think that should have just been the end of it. She's Jamaican, and East Indian, or even she wanted to say I'm black or whatever, because of her Jamaican, but she's not Black American, and so that kind of distinction, you know, um, would not have been necessary had they not tried to play had they not tried to represent her as that. And I'm talking about the media. So that was the media's fault. But I think that they should have, I think he should have just said, well, sometimes it looks like she panders to whatever audience she's speaking to, when it comes off inauthentic. You didn't even really have to bring in Black Americans, because then people would be like, oh, you're trying to blame them. But no, it's true. Like a lot of people in the community did speak out on it, and so I think he was just parroting some of the stuff that he heard people saying. There's just a way to word this. Even there's people that can word this better than I can, but there's somebody on the team that should have been able to word this in a way where, for one, it doesn't offend anyone, and it's genuine. It's a genuine response, and it's a truthful response. So, yeah, like I read in the media, the mainstream media has said that she was East Asian. Then, the media switched it to Black, and so it was odd. And so um sometimes it come off like she's pandering to whatever audience she's speaking to, and it comes off inauthentic. You don't even have to say it, but something with the media spinning this thing, because do I think Kamala's out here purposely trying to do that? No, I just think that they come on, when she be switching that accent like that, that's them telling her to do that. She don't need to do that. She does not need to put on a southern accent. Like, that's not even necessary. All she got to do is be herself. So I don't know, like, when her handlers are going to like realize that. Like, she doesn't have to switch her accent because she's talking to a different group of people. She should have the same, however she speaks. Even because the thing is, code switching is real. Anybody knows I'm the queen of code switching. On my channel, I am pretty raw. I don't know if people would say that's ratchet or ghetto or intelligent or articulate, whatever they're gonna say, however they say it. I know I do both. I know at times, I've just there is no code switching. It just is what it is. But if I had to present on a certain topic, yeah, I'm gonna speak more professionally, obviously. But code switching is real. But that doesn't mean you take on a different accent. Code switching is not changing an accent. Code switching is just changing the cadence or even the pronunciation or the diction. Like when if I'm talking to friends, say, hell yeah, yeah, I saw them motherfuckers over there, they doing something. Like, yeah, I talk like that. There's examples of that on this channel. But if I have to go to an interview, obviously you're going to see me pronunciate my diction and talk about my experience and have a whole nother flair. It ain't gonna, motherfucker, I'll be up here, I'm good for cussing and all that type shit. But there's a time and a place. And so code switching is very real, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna change my accent. I'm just changing the diction. And so, like, I don't even know how to do a southern accent. I wouldn't know. I don't want to even try to attempt it because I don't want to offend anybody, because I like the southern accent. I just don't know how to do one. But that's so it's not necessary for her to do those type of things. And so that's where we're talking about the authenticity thing, and then like how it turns off a lot of Americans, like particularly Black Americans. It turns those off because we're looking like, what, that's not how you talk. And so those are the type of things where people would say, well, that's not how you know that like you are. I mean, the media is trying to say she's Black American, but her people's a East Asian and West Indian, and there's nothing wrong with that. But why are they saying, like, making it seem like they were, if we did not call out that she was not a descendant of those who had been enslaved and those who had been indigenous to America, or free Black people, if we did not say that okay, that Black Americans are this distinct ethnicity that has been here most likely prior to 1865 or even 1776, or prior to 1619, wherever you want to start it. I'm not getting into the debate about what fucking number y'all want to use. I don't give a shit. But if we did not make that distinction, the media would not have cared. The media would have exploited that, just like how they did with Obama in 2008. What's that? Yeah, 2008. They would have exploited that. They wouldn't have gave a shit. And further ethnocide and further, cause this confusion. And we're thinking, like, it, but people realize, there is a distinction, and it is okay to point that out. But there's within, I would say, let's not be obnoxious with it, but it is definitely okay to point that out. And there's nothing wrong with her being herself. She don't need to use that fake ass accent. And so that's where, and people knew that's what Trump was getting at, that it wasn't like he trying to come at her race and stuff like that. Now, but obviously ABC has the ammunition to use it that way. ABC gonna take liberty to flip that one. Why do you think it's okay to come at the Black woman's race? Oh my gosh, that just looks like, the optics of that, and that tripped him up, because you could tell, like, he knew it was coming, but like I could feel his nervousness. Like, I don't know. You don't say I don't know, but it's like you feel this pressure, because now they trying to bring in, they think you got a problem with her race, and that's why he's like, she could be whatever she want to be. I don't have no problem with it. Whatever she want to be, she can be. And that's why he was saying it like that, because it's like, wait a minute, it wasn't even like that. I just read, we know that y'all come up with this pander. There's a difference between code switching, pandering, cosplaying. Now, that's not necessary. That's not his place to speak on that, right? So, but let's be real. Like, that's what the white folks is thinking. They thinking the same thing. It's just maybe not appropriate to speak out, to say it. There's Black Americans that speak out on it. There's Africans that speak out on it. There's Latino that, that community is speaking out on it enough. And so Trump is raw. He gonna parrot what he heard, what he read, or what his friend okay, that's what the Black American, they listen to them Twitter spaces and all that shit. They had a peoples in them rooms and stuff. And so somebody from them rooms, it could have even been a Black American himself. There are Black Americans that are on Trump's campaign team and stuff. And so they probably, they got her saying she a Black American, but she East Indian. He think, oh yeah, just something like that. But I think I think that question should have been crafted out. I'm not saying what I said is the most concise or precise way to say it, but somebody should have had something real, that kind of answer. You got to craft that real out, and like, you probably need a team, of people to, I would say a couple of Black Americans to word that for you, to where you spend 30 seconds saying, I would say you need that whole section. That was probably the main one that needed to be hashed out. And then, as well as the concepts of a plan thing. Where was it? Where he said, when you were talking about the healthcare plan with the concepts of a plan, that should have been worded to, because I think I put it up here. Yeah, we have a preliminary healthcare plan that is still being worked out by those on my team, but we know that it will be cheaper, and we still working out the transition of when that would even take place, just in case you can't get into it on day one, or even year one or year two. But because what is in place with the current marketplace plans, the healthcare marketplace plans, I think I think it's still a variation of what Obamacare had, right? I didn't see too many changes on it, but then I don't know what's going on with it. But the idea of using that tax premium to help people with it, It made good healthcare affordable to a lot of Americans. For some of us that couldn't afford the private pay, and then there were many Americans that wanted to keep their private health insurance as well, so they feel like it messed it up. And so again, when we're thinking about the polarizations of those type of topics, the best approach, and this is going outside of debate a little, is some sort of convergence that again some sort of bridge that gets crossed. Hybrid plan, that's when we talk about like something with hybrid plan. So something that say Trump does keep what's in place, but then he adds the component for private options. You know what I mean? Like there's a component for those who want to keep a private option to go through the marketplace and the private offshoots for where that could be streamlined or in a way that's beneficial between the private insurances and the government. I don't know how to work that part out, but even but something where it's still an option, even if it's not uh combined with what's currently out there. But on some level, I'd say still an option if separate, or if possible, something creative and innovative. And again, that's something that got to be studied by the team. It won't necessarily be Trump coming up with that, but some sort of hybrid option where uh, there's those that can keep their private or go back to whatever they had a private that option, as well as that healthcare marketplace. Because I do know for many it was helpful. Um, or another part, even if you don't, again, you only get 2 minutes for this particular question. So I think that it's something concise, like preliminary healthcare plan that addresses the needs of American people that will be cheaper, that or say that would be affordable, um, and instead of saying the concepts of a plan, and then say we have brilliant experts in the medical industry and on my team, and that are working on this stuff. We have or you don't have to say medical industry, but say in the government that are on my team that we're crafting this out as we speak. And so we have preliminary health care plan in the time being that enhances or adds on to, you say add on to what's currently. And we don't have a transitional time frame of when, or you don't have to say it that way. We have not yet determined the traditional the transitional time frame of when this will happen, but we expect for it to occur. Not that we expect, but we will make sure that it happens in my presidency. But I would say you don't even want to answer it like that, because you don't want it. You want to sound a little more. I would say we have not yet determined the transitional time frame, but it will be done during my presidency. Yeah, you could say it just like that. But that's how that should have been answered. For actual ideas, I think that some components of, again, something that could be hybrid, something that can also be integrative, like the actual some of the things that are offered, um, possibly through like even Medicare or Medicaid in regards to integrative, holistic health, those type of things. Um, I also think, this could have been a time, because you get 2 minutes to see maybe even reference something that was on RFK's website regarding the vaccines, or regarding, some of the things that is on his plan. Maybe you craft it out different, but I think somebody on Trump's team should have probably spent like a minute, you know, uh, talking about maybe even some ideas on for Medicaid, Medicare, or whatever's out there. The market healthcare, was it called marketplace healthcare or something like that? Healthcare marketplace or some shit like that. Yeah, something. Yeah, and then you spend maybe not even a minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds on that. When it came to like the stuff with the border, I do think he should have brought up the 291,000 missing children, and we just showed y'all today. I had put this out there on September 11th. He should have brought that up, as you can see on your screen. And then today he brings it up that the migrant missing children missing, and he blames the Kamala Harris. Now he should have did this right at the debate. I'm telling you, he should have did that right at the debate, but not, maybe not as flamboyant, but more so like, these migrant children are missing. Many of them are getting human trafficked, and see, this is why the border should be closed. This is why we don't want unbridled illegal immigration and open borders. That's why we don't want that. That's all he had to say right there. You know, and then also she's been the they call her the border czar. She's bragged about it. She's, look at what happened. Also, why didn't he bring up Venezuela? Trump should have brought up Venezuela in Chicago. Now, that's crazy that they were bringing these Venezuelans, um, and they taking over apartment complexes. That would have been more powerful than the eating the pet shit, because they made a spectacle out of that. They made a spectacle out of that, and then it's Haitians, and so that the optics of that don't look too good, um, because they gonna go on the race thing. What you should have did was talk about that Venezuelan that the Venezuelan takeovers of them apartment complexes, and they kicking out innocent, they kicking out residents. Now that would have been something that would have got people up in arms. I'm telling you, that's what you bring up. That's what you bring up, and they would have. I'm telling they that would have been viral everywhere, and people would have been, because it's true. Like, that's something. And then guess what? It's speculation, and I think even I'm pretty sure I think mainstream news might have even confirmed this already. Do not quote me though. Allegedly, our government has funded, brought over them Venezuelans, like on some like black ops type military type shit, like to fuck with them residents over there to get there to take. That's what I read, but that may not be true. But they still brought them over here, and they're taking over Venezuelan apartment complexes. I'm sorry, the Venezuelans are taking over these apartment complexes that are Black American, that predominantly has Black Americans in them, putting them out on the streets, forcing the Black American residents to pay them rent, forcing Black American residents to pay them rent instead of the landlords. And then the landlords are getting some type of kickbacks, and they evicting the Black Americans. They do. Now that's something that you bring up over that eating the pet shit, because that sounded crazy, even if it's true. And obviously I've seen it to be true. Like, they got videos of people. Now my thing is, I've seen videos of people uh trying to catch pigeons outside to eat and stuff like that, and cooking them in restaurants. That made the news. So that ain't no lie. That's on the news. Which the news do lie, don't get me wrong, but it was video footage of the lady going outside, getting pigeons, capturing pigeons, and then bringing them into her restaurant and cooking it as takeout food. No lie. And the video was sent to the news channel. Somebody else had recorded her doing this, and they sent it, and they ran the story, and they shut her down, and they took samples of the meat, and it was pigeon meat, and they were selling it as chicken, sweet and sour chicken. You know, um, they found out that there was restaurants, using rats and stuff, and saying it's chicken and shit. That's documented. Now with this pet thing, that's new, and it sounds ridiculous. Now it's funny as hell, right? Because now they talking about cats, and Trump got cat. They got the memes of Trump with the cats and shit, and that's cold, right? Cold, that how they talk in symbols. This stuff don't make it mainstream unless they wanted to make it mainstream, right? And so we know good and well that we know good and hell well that story sound obnoxious. I think maybe he say both, because in this sense, this press doesn't really hurt. It's kind of unserious though. But what would have been real serious though, as far as like what sticks in the American minds, is that shit that with them Venezuelans taking over them apartment complexes like that. That should have been brought up. Absolutely should have been brought up. Or that $10,000 debit card and shit like that they was given, and then that crazy loan, that wanting to give them $150,000 loan with zero interest for illegal immigrants, but nothing to the American people who are dealing with rent price gouging, which the Department of Justice just sued RealPage for illegally jacking all of the rent prices in America across the country. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. So that's the type of things you craft out for him. And so that should have also been something that was said. It really should have been something that was said. But like I said, what else? What else was there? Anything else that was? Like I said, that part where the biggest headliner was, well, you went in there for 3 years. Why you ain't say shit? Why you ain't do shit now? Why you ain't do shit since this whole time? I mean, obviously he ain't saying it like that. That's how I'm saying it. Y'all know how I talk. Why you ain't do shit now? And he should have said that 3 times throughout the debate. I think possibly after the statement with the House. Actually, maybe we could do a review a little bit of this. Maybe we can review a little bit of this
issue, and that is the economy and the cost of living.
Let me see. But yep, I feel like this was interesting. Like I said, his team, y'all should have took that more serious. Now, here's the thing: if Trump was not going to prepare, or he didn't have the time to prepare, or did nobody want to help him prepare, he shouldn't have did the debate because it was too much stacked against him. My thing is, what was going to happen was they was just going to keep saying he's scared. He trying to back out. He was so happy. He was quick to go up against Biden, but he don't want to go up against Kamala. He's scared of her. He's scared. He ducking and dodging. They would have just exploited the hell out of that, right? And then I also think people thought that she was going to show up how she be talking about the damn coconuts and be laughing and what has been and what's going to be. And today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow. Y'all thought she was going to show up like that. That's what it was. And so, Trump said, I'll do the debate. Now, my thing is, if he was going to take that debate, I think he should have prepared. I wanted him to do debate. So it was a good thing that he did it, even still. It's just that if y'all knew that he was not going to prepare, knowing that how the Democrats go, how the lengths they will go, he should have just kept going with doing his own little thing. Especially with her talking about the notes. Now that would have been a way to get out of it. Oh, she talking about she's going to take some notes, or even before then, be like, no, I said it was supposed to be going against Biden. Got to switch it to Kamala. I'm not doing the debate, guys. I gotta work on my campaign. Something like that. If he knew he wasn't going to prepare, I think he. I still don't like. Again, I don't. I think he did a good. I think he held his own given the circumstances. I think he held his own, and I think that he didn't. I don't think he lost. I don't. Not especially if this lady had the questions beforehand, as they saying in that damn listening device. No. Even if all things equal, let's just say that she just really just prepared and he didn't prepare. I didn't think it was like a blowout or anything. I just think she looked more rehearsed, and I think that she prepared on some level. Even if someone had fed her lines, even if someone told her what to say, she practiced it. She might have practice, and that's and objectively, in terms of the optics, she looked more composed. She looked more confident. She looked more prepared. Whereas Trump was started out very strong, and then at some points you could just tell he's just going off the cuff, like he's speaking how he speaks. When he got flustered at times, he performed at times, that type of thing. And so, if he was not going to put in that same amount of preparation as far as his team, then he should not do a third debate. The only way you guys do a third debate is if you guys put in that same amount of effort. I'm not saying give him no listening device and give him no questions beforehand, but it has to be probably like on Fox or something, or something that's more less biased, and considerable preparation in terms of more so appealing to the American people of the policies of what is going of what he's going to do, but also pointing out the defective aspects of Kamala's Biden's administration, because it's not Kamala's necessarily. The vice president don't really do much, but talking about the deficiencies and things that the objective things that have occurred, this crazy inflation, the stuff going on with these wars and stuff, that type of stuff. But if he's not going to prepare, or he don't have the time to prepare, or whatever thing he's thinking of, then I would say don't do the third debate. If he's going to do the third debate, you need to talk about something with housing and apprenticeships. I want apprenticeship programs for all Americans in all 50 states that is subsidized by the government as well as some taxpayer dollar. That has some apprenticeship programs ages 18 right from high school through 39, but also keep the pool open for older people as well to be able to do an apprenticeship program too. But the reason why it's scaled at a certain age is because the expectation is that someone in like their 40s or 50s, they're probably already maybe established more, and so they may not be looking to go into an apprenticeship program unless they need to learn a new skill or change their career. But the apprenticeship program is earned income, or even can be shared income, where you learn as you're getting paid, and in a variety of fields. This could be part of the investment in the sovereign wealth fund, but part of the investment in human capital. But I would say like these apprenticeship programs and EV, we showed it earlier on my Twitter, on my tarot video, where we were showing how they starting 50 new apprenticeship programs this week alone. I said last Friday, and it's proof on my last tarot video where we just said, okay, they're going to come out with a bunch of apprenticeship programs this week. And this week they invested 61 million for 50 new apprenticeship programs in Pennsylvania alone. California is coming up with the world's first EV apprenticeship program was just started this week in America. We're talking about EV apprenticeships, nanotechnology apprenticeships, artificial intelligence apprenticeship programs. Obviously, you still have your construction, you still have your electric engineering. It's still pretty hard, incubator programs as well, paid incubator programs for the startups, for those that are new to the startups or already have, maybe you have some criteria for how long the business has been running, not necessarily revenue, but as far as sales, but proof of concept and working idea, working prototype, perhaps working prototype and perhaps proof of concept. But we see that, and then like you could have the incubator programs for these startups that are essentially an investment in human capital. They build up these amazing new technologies. We're talking about cool things with all different types of technologies that are coming out. Obviously, you have TensorFlow, all types of shit. I mean, obviously, this new cool invention with the solar panels for that was invented by some of the students at MIT, where instead of having them big ass bulky solar panels, they got them so thin now. They got them so thin and so small. We're talking about like the size of a credit card, where they have it. They've created like this cool thing with the solar panel and stuff. So we need an investment in those type of things. The apprenticeship program should be something that you should be working on as a part of your freedom economy, Trump. The economy, you should be calling it freedom economy. Kamala has a cool slogan. Hers is opportunity economy. That's cool. Honestly, when she talking about the opportunity program, opportunity economy, that's interesting to me. That's very interesting. I said, oh, okay. And so you got to stop. When you're talking about the economy, you have to realize you're talking to American people. You're not talking to shareholders. Yes, American economy is a corporation. Yes, we have bonds and indexes and things that we have to do with the market, but you're talking to American people. And so you have to answer that question like that, like how Kamala did. Opportunity economy. You have to say freedom economy. You have a freedom economy where people are free to choose the careers that they want. They have the mobility to move up, the freedom to move up. People have the ability to move up, to get involved in business, to get involved in their community, to get involved. You could say to get involved in a free market, to get involved in the stock market. They can make an investment in cryptocurrency, and then next thing you know, they're 10,000. This is actually a true story. There's an 18-year-old that invested $1,000 in a cryptocurrency and it turned into $1 million. Maybe it was 10,000. I think it was $10,000. They turned into $1 million by the age of 18. Like these type of stories, like a freedom economy. Also, people, you're going to be dealing with housing. And so we're talking about freedom economy, homeowners, that type of thing. You have to sell it that way. And unless, again, I know that this shit is shadows. I know there's a deep state to it. I know that people gonna say only certain things they're not allowed to go all the way or whatever, say certain things. But I'm talking to the shadow. Okay, I'm not talking to obviously Trump and Kamala. They're obviously their team, but their handlers, and then even above that, as far as what needs to be happening and what they need to be saying out there. Um, and that's the part of it. You have to uh, the American people want to know that their sustenance is feasible and available to them. The way that they go about their sustenance, their jobs, their bills, their children that they have to take care of, the responsibilities that they have. They want to make sure that they'll be able to make those needs. Right now, it's uncertain. They see gas, they see inflation, the people's getting laid off and shit left and right. Stock market is doing whatever it's gonna do, waiting for the rate cuts and shit. It's a lot going on, and so you got a swarm of people at the border. You know that's the one you love to use. It's the swarm of people at the border. They're taking our job, that type shit. Like people, I mean, yes, it's matrix shit, but it's a real reality for a lot of people. And so people want to know that with you, it's not okay. People don't give. Yeah, the border is a problem, but people, it's an abstract idea when you think about it. I don't see no motherfuckers at the border. I never ran across from no border. I don't go by the damn border, so it doesn't really affect me on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? And so why people theoretically, yes, conceptually they care about that, because it's like, yeah, it's a million motherfuckers at the border and our resources are going to get depleted because you only have scarce resources and you must be strategic about how you use those scarce resources. Yes, obviously Americans care about that, but when we want to know, like when Kamala say we give motherfuckers 25,000, when she say we giving motherfuckers $50,000 for your business, $6,000 for your new kid and shit, 25,000. When she does that, I don't care what age you is, what gender you is, what race you is, you gonna get your ears motherfucking perked when you hear 25,000, 50K for what? For business? Let me start my motherfucker. You know what? I had a passion project. I had, like people start getting, that's just how it go. We talking about public opinion and winning the hearts and minds of the people. We talking about a whole higher level agenda, but we trying to switch people. We trying to switch the governance of the government, like govern your mind, to a different cadence. It's like we trying to get a different frequency, and when somebody can play to your emotions like that, that's expert craftsmanship. It's expert craftsmanship that she we give him motherfuckers $50,000. Yeah, you're gonna be like, shit. Even if you was voting for Trump, you fuck with Trump, you like, damn, that sounds like a good, like something I can wrap my head around, And so Trump has to speak to something with apprenticeship programs. You have to speak to something with housing opportunity for Americans. It ain't got to sound like a handout. I know y'all don't like to be the party that sound like you're giving a handout. Shit, motherfuckers need a break, and motherfuckers need to step up. We need a first step act. First, we need to step up and all this shit. Like, so even if it's something with that assist in retirement, I think the tax cuts are great. But there's a lot of people that, we don't get tips. I don't get tips. I don't get Social Security. What's the other one? Damn, what's the other one? I don't work overtime. See, that's that shit. They only want to give you a break if you work it overtime, if you overwork it. And that, like, for the American people, I guess that's y'all brainwashed. So y'all feel like that's good enough. For me, that ain't good enough. I want a UBI. I want y'all lucky. I'm not the entity running around hijacking motherfucking consciousness. Cause y'all really be mad. The Americans will be at your damn White House. We tired of working. We work 40 hours a week. We're tired of paying rent. They totally brainwashed. But anyways, yeah, they only get the tax. I don't work overtime. Shit, I'll be good if I put in 10 hours. Or that's just me though. I'm a whole different breed. And I'm not lazy at all. And not mentally. Not mentally. Now, maybe like physically you could say I'm lazy. Sure. But mentally, no, not at all. Interdimensionally, no, not at all. But yeah, I believe in work smarter, not harder all day. I believe in work smarter, not harder. And that's what Kamala believes in too, by the way. That's why she at where the fuck she's at. I know the spirit on her when I see it. And it may have manifested differently in how we both move, but because we don't necessarily move the same, but she believes in work smarter, not harder. You see how they had her all set up for that damn debate? 3 fucking biased moderators, people that work that she friends with that own the damn network, earpiece in the motherfucking ear, and got the questions beforehand. She gets told what show up here. That was, you know what was so motherfucking funny? When Trump said, when Trump said, when Trump said, when they get bited about the bed at 4 p.m. That's really how that shit be. I saw that spiritually. I be cracking up because I thought I was the only person that saw that shit. I said, oh man, that was hilarious when they say, yeah, when his handlers, I mean, he was like, yeah, when they decide to get him out the bed at 4 p.m. to go sign something, I'm like, I'm telling y'all, that's how it be, that be changing that though. No, these y'all motherfuckers really gotta be on some Ramesses type shit. Like, we changing that. Y'all ain't just gonna be able to just be puppets and get told what to say and told what to do and told to show up. And you want to be a president? You ain't gonna be no actors no more. You're gonna be the real motherfucking McCoy, and you're gonna be running shit like Ramses the second, Ramses the third, Atenaka. Y'all gonna be really running shit like. Y'all gonna be y'all. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be real high level governance. Now we'll prepare you for that, so don't worry. But that's what we're gonna be looking forward to. And it's starting with government efficiency. It's starting with getting rid of this motherfucking corruption, getting rid of corruption, getting rid of harm human trafficking. Yep, it start with that. In my book, I don't know about y'all book. It start with competency and efficiency. It starts with getting rid of human trafficking, and it starts with exposing corruption. That's what matters to me. So it could have been any candidate that would have been on that type of wave, and I would have jumped on it. Real fake, half fake, deep state, whatever, however you want to look at it. There's some truth to this shit, and I know what's going on behind the scenes. And yeah, I'm not gonna be on here spewing everything, right? You can't just go. I give enough, more than enough. That's why I'm so shadow banned. I give more than enough. But the side that commits to it publicly and and shapes the consciousness of the American people to also get behind it publicly. That's where I gotta go, because we want children to be safe in America. We want Americans to be safe in America, and we want I mean, come on, it's been a rough 4 years for a lot of us. See, and then you see somebody can just walk into your country and they get $25,000 line of credit and $10,000 debit cards and all this stuff. It is kind of like, damn, like, I don't get my peoples. We don't get nothing. We don't get nothing. We saw what they just did with that reparation shit. Like, it's like they just dick us around and it's unrighteous. It's ungodly and it's unrighteous, and so we have to continue to speak out on that. I'ma always speak out on it. I don't care who's around to hear it. I don't care. I'll say it to the Draco motherfuckers that run this planet, my motherfucking self, right to their motherfucking face. I don't care what bloodline it is. I'll go to the bloodlines, my motherfucking self, and tell them to their face. It's an unrighteous system. It's an unholy system with no balance. And we want justice for all people and for Black Americans. I'm saying it just like that. We want a fair shake. We ain't here to harm nobody. We ain't here to take from nobody. We ain't here to, to divide motherfuckers. We believe in unity consciousness. We want collaboration. We do believe. I believe that's what's required is unity consciousness, not separation consciousness. But at the same time, we have to look out for our most vulnerable and for people who have historically and to present day have not been given that fair shake and have been locked out. And so we must always speak up on that. No matter what your race is, no matter what your gender is, you must always speak up on vulnerable populations, as well as people who have been historically locked out, currently locked out, and marginalized to this day. We must always speak out on any type of injustice, because then you're gonna get mad when it happened to your ass. any type of injustice, with empirical, not propaganda injustice, like real motherfucking injustice, we must always speak out on it, no matter who it is, no matter who's it affects. Now, I'm not saying get distracted and neglect your own self-preservation. I'm not saying get distracted and just be focused on some shit that don't matter. No. At the end of the day, unity consciousness is what's going to propel the entire planet as well as the country for balance and innovation. But we can't leave people behind. We can't purposely bury people. We can't purposely lock out people out of whatever fears or insecurities or ego or caste system. That those days are gone. And then those vulnerable populations themselves must be in positions of power to speak for themselves and to enact leverage for themselves and to be able to engage at will with the system in a position of power. And that's always what I'm going to be about. I'm not changing it for nobody. And I know people are like, well, Trump is racist. Why are you backing Trump? And you so this pro-black and all this stuff. Like I said, we standing on ending fucking with these kids. Both parties are historically racist. I also know that a lot of that stuff that he was saying about Trump being racist is propaganda. It is full-blown propaganda. It has always, a lot of it has always been. Now, do people say stupid shit? Do people maybe say insensitive shit? Yeah. Do I say insensitive shit about white people? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And so, yes, he has said insensitive shit about black people. It hasn't been nothing that was too fucking alarming. And if he did say something, I'll check it myself. You can get checked. Anybody can get checked. I can get checked. So what does that matter? As far as saying he's supposed to be the racist one. It was a party of racism. Democrats and Republicans there's rampant racism, and both of them. That's why I'm always I have not committed to either one of them. Now, as far as candidacy, I'm backing Trump because I like his stance on cracking down on with this human trafficking, child trafficking, and speaking out on this corruption of the government. And I like his linking with RFK because I do like a lot of those policies that RFK got. I do like some of those policies. Now, could this all be a play? Now there are better candidates out there that could have been running. Sure. People say Thomas Massey. People say could have been another third party candidate. Cornel West was running. He's running on a reparations campaign. People got mad because they say a third party won't win. It's a waste of time. I like to do things on principle because I know that principle eventually wins the race if you don't take shortcuts. A lot of people, they were just obsessed with taking a shortcut. And so they fuck up. And so a lot of people, they take a shortcut and they end up either selling out or taking something that is less than what they're worth. And so, sometimes doing things on principle is important. Most of the time, for me, it's important. I can't speak for everybody else. I'm not one to just go along to get along or to do something because it could I may gain from it or on some level or something. Like, that's not necessarily always the best move for me. The best move for me is one where I have complete autonomy and freedom and free will to say and do what I want within reason and with consent and respect and not in violation of universal laws. That's what I like. And so I can't speak for what other people, how other people may view that. Yep. I lost my train of thought. I got distracted. I was looking at something. But yeah, they could have been better candidates, but this is what we have. And I do think, the day we find ourselves in, we need a transitional period before the shakeup because a lot of them Americans are not prepared to. I mean, are not prepared, but just not ready. Not ready is not the right word either. Maybe not prepared. Maybe not ready is the best way to phrase it. A lot of them are not ready to learn the truth of certain things of that been going on right under their damn nose. Everything is still a conspiracy, or still speculation, and so things have to be scripted out this way for the time being. um, to allow some time for public consciousness to catch up for the next level, for the next stage of humanity, of planet Earth. And it's not one where it's going to be all this damn control. And that's something that we can show you better than we can tell you. Because we know we fight in forces that are totally against everything that we stand for. And so, again, that's something that we show you better than we can tell you. And it don't necessarily have to be me, myself, that I'm talking about. I'm talking about how the collective consciousness and narrative writing. And so there's time to bridge world governance systems with a higher level of consciousness. But we need that time. And so, but you've already seen many things play out. You've already seen many signs. You've already seen many, if you've been paying attention. And this election is going to be very different, I'll say. Um, it's a lot underneath the scenes, I'll say. It's a lot underneath. And we're not going to get too into the esoteric stuff when it comes to just specifically getting more into like more of a, it's not channeling, but more of like remote viewing rather. I'm not going to get into all of that on this channel, on this particular video, at least not on this particular video. Yeah, but if as far as a third debate, if Trump's going to do a third debate, I think he needs to prepare, and it needs to be his team having high level brainstorm concept map of the things they're going to hit him with, obviously things they're going to use to exploit, and then you have one with the responses as well, or somebody can come up with a form a structure that's a little more concise than just what I can come off the fly. But yeah, he needs to have certain preparation for certain things they're going to bring up. Any of his blunders, any of the major catastrophe, obviously January 6th, his 34 felons, that's obviously going to be one they're going to bring up. You have to have responses for concise responses that exposes corruption or bias, and like things that when they bring up this 34 felonies, when they bring up what else, the January 6th stuff, the race stuff, when they bring up division and they bring up the harms, when they make him sound, like you have to have that already worded out and prepared, at least have some preparation for it. Working on him telling the story, maybe not the story aspect, but at least the objectives of what he did previously in his economy, and as well as the new things, the certain things he'll work on: apprenticeship program, housing program, the core tax cuts, sovereign wealth fund, investment in our infrastructure and in American jobs, whatever departments that are going to build upon efficiency, government efficiency. And so I think I don't think it's the debate, the third debate. I don't know. Are people really calling for it or asking for it? I think it's okay, but again, only if there's going to be some good preparation and understanding, demeanor and staying calm, keeping that sarcastic Trump still. If the some of the trolling aspect that he does at times, the performing, the actual the good programming aspect of the debate, and or just leave it alone, because you really don't need it. You got the viral rallies back to back to back. If you could play up that the viral, like this stuff right here, like the viral rally stuff. You could continue to do that, or have JD Vance do a couple more interviews with maybe a couple with a little obnoxious flair, but also focus on policies. There was something else, housing policy, again, an apprenticeship thing, and a housing, a crafting of a housing component. If someone on the team could do that, I don't know who's all on the team. If there's anybody on the team, they know. I know there's people that's still there, but like, um, definitely something with the housing, something cool and crafty, for that, for to help with the, because again, that's what Americans are thinking of. A lot of Americans, I'm telling you, this is a big thing. And then what's the other one? Yeah, something with apprenticeships, and probably something with the sovereign wealth fund. Perhaps maybe give some cool example of what that looks like. A really innovative, something that can be appealing to millennials and Gen Z. Something, a particular aspect of the sovereign wealth fund, because sovereign wealth fund it sounds boring. I mean, it sounds cool, but the average American is like, okay, what is, how does that help me? And so I think the particular example of the sovereign wealth fund that is relevant to the millennials or Generation Z or something. Um, Again, because sovereign wealth fund that makes up that can make up a variety of things. But an investment in certain aspect of that, perhaps that could be the apprenticeship. I don't know if that would fall under that though, or maybe the investment in some type of cool uh, robotics or nanotechnology, ran highways or something. I don't know. Whatever you guys are thinking of out there, I think that would be a good way to put that as well. Yeah, but other than that, I thought the debate was good. I don't think he did. I don't think he did a terrible job or anything. I think he did good. I think that uh, Kamala Kamala prepared, appeared more prepared, at least. People are saying with the damn ear thing and with the what's the that they gave her the questions beforehand. See, I don't know about all that, and I hope that's not true. I hope that's not. In my mind, I just thought that she had sat her ass down like the grad school days, and had people with her team help her and rehearsed with them and got some cue cards and remembered stuff. That's what I thought. That's what I was hoping. I'm like, damn, she actually, she came through. So I don't want to believe that. But at the same time, it is something that is been going viral. I'm not gonna act like I didn't read that they were saying that device, the earrings was a, a wireless audio device that you can hear through, and then uh, we also hear the stuff with her, the host was her aka sister, which there's nothing wrong with that. And then the three moderators were biased to a degree, and then they saying that she had the questions beforehand. Now that I really don't want to believe. That's crazy. But they saying that there was a whistleblower that came forward and she got the questions beforehand. Now that's crazy. That would be too much. I know y'all ain't. I know y'all ain't doing that. And that's what we saying about y'all putting the divine feminine in in a box, like the divine feminine. That is actually activated. And these are women with gifts. So I'm not saying, like, I know that Kamala comes from a royal priestess bloodline, and so I already know what I already see that. I already could just spiritually I can see that just in her epigenetics. However, it's not okay for like these male dominated cults to know that as well. They see those bloodlines as well, and they try to groom, or not necessarily groom, but train those women. Go through a certain sort of rites of passages, and even rituals, and even passages and experiences, and even positions to get to where they are. But they are like kind of being like a Tao. They're like a Tao. That's what my sisters were saying. Like, you know, they treat the divine feminine like a damn Tao, to like an empty shell where they can program like a puppet. And I wasn't going for it. I wasn't going for it. That is a no, because I'm not. I know what chaos intelligence is, and the power of women. And I know good and hell well that there's no males that understand that level of mystery that was stolen from those ancient societies, them ancient matriarchies, and those ancient secret societies that were started by females, women of Atlantean priesthoods that was also mingled in with humans to this day. Melanated women's, black women's. And so I don't play that. I know the power of this black woman. And so I can't sit and have a bunch of males trying to make me into some damn Barbie doll, like, or like a puppet, or like a Manchurian, or like a MK Ultra. I can't do that. Nah, we got to go to war. I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass every time you try to do it too, spiritually. Because the divine feminine cannot be measured. It's not quantifiable. It's qualitative, and it's intuitive, and it's super genius. It's auto it's auto intelligence of the likes of have never been seen. It doesn't need any control from no damn human. Damn sure. No, it doesn't need no control. It's passive, but it flows. It's like a flow. And it's dark energy. Just like how you see that it's nighttime right now if you're in the south. Some places in the south, it's dark out there. You look outside, what you see? A dark sky. Do you see the sun? No, it's on the other side of the world, so damn where on the side of the damn country. So it's dark right now. What happens if the sun was gone? Like you in Alaska, you get 6 months without damn sun. What is it? It's all the months without no damn sun. It's just dark. It's just cosmic melanin. It's just chaos intelligence, which is your entropy, your dark energy, your consciousness, and your dark energy is a divine feminine, which gives rise to resonance, which gives rise to electromagnetism, which gives rise to strong nuclear force. Sorry, gravity, then strong nuclear force, then weak nuclear force. That's what it does. It is raw potential, infinity, creative energy, free energy source. But it is embedded with love. It does have love, and it has supreme intelligence, supreme structure, supreme entropy. And entropy is probability distribution. And probability distribution is continuous variables of random variables of outcomes, of potentiality. The potential to create your own vortex spaces, the potential to create your own vector spaces, whether you want to use angles, spirals, measurements, binary code, 0 9s, any type of code, Fibonacci, whatever the fuck you want to do. That's the creative, raw, divine feminine that's embedded in every species throughout all galaxies, throughout all times and space, and all dimensions, and all universals, parallel universes, omniverses, multiverses, exoverses, male and female. And the divine feminine gives rise to electromagnetism. The divine feminine gives rise to divine masculine. They don't want to accept it. It is what it is. That's why they reverse engineered everything. They say that negative means bad. Negative means low. Negative never meant low. Negative means electron. Negative means inverted electron, the conductor of which, the producer, the generator. It means generator and electron, the source of light. That's what negative means. The original definition of negative on planet Earth, you guys, the secret societies, they say that negative means bad and lower because everything, they reverse everything. See, they know that negative means what it means, because negative relates to divine feminine. That's why I have yin and yang. The negative and a plus sign, even on a battery, tells you that. The negative, that's your electron. That's the divine feminine. It's not negative. But you see how on planet Earth they turn everything against the females. All females are demons, all women are bad. That's what they try to put. That's what they try to tell society since the overthrow of the Queen Mothership. And so the word negative took on a different. Positive is your proton. Positive relates to your masculine. See, positive means good though. Positive means masculine though. That's the masculine energy. But you see how on your planet Earth, I'm telling you, the interdimensional, these fucking assholes, Murdoch, these fallen watchers that took over the fucking mainframe, they switched the shit with stolen knowledge, mind you, from my order. Stolen knowledge, and put, okay, Negative mean, okay, negative mean like female electron. Nope, it mean low, it mean bad. Positive, because they went to the war with us. There was a war. There was a war between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The black folk, mm-hmm, fighting like cat and dog. You see, to get into governance because they want them secrets and them mysteries, and they can't understand it because you can't understand your creator. And they wanted power. They wanted to do it their way. How that get you? But these Marduk Enlil niggas, and it's more than that. I'm just giving an example. It's a bunch of them. It's they not the only ones. They just taking the hits because it's a bunch of them that did it, and it was females that helped them. You see this shit today. How you got they call the girls pick me's, and they got these male identified people and these male identified pick me and all that. They do dangerous shit. They go after real powerful women. They try to take down other powerful women, and these men they'll get black women's to do their witchcraft on other females because they already know that male witchcraft is not going to take a royal high priestess bloodline. It can't fuck with that power. So they try to get a bunch of homunculus women's to do the magic on those type of females, and it still don't work. And so it's always been that way. It's always been like, you got these homunculus jealous females of the women that are jealous of beautiful women, and the women are jealous of royal women, whether they're beautiful or not, or those that have spiritual rank and royal rank, as well as beautiful women. Just regular beautiful women that are usually get enacted into certain priests. It can be in a priestesshood, or maybe just not. Maybe just get married somewhere would be a commoner. But that's always been like that since the beginning of the time. Women knowing be able to create mystery sciences, the ability to create mystery sciences from scratch, the ability to know a science without having to know measurements and math, to know it intuitively. Like I knew intuitively before. I didn't have to read nothing about no Australian boatsman that, and this is a fact. And if I am lying, God would take me out. I know intuitively that entropy was probability distribution. I didn't need no book to tell me no shit like that. I need no book. I didn't need no PhD, none of that. And I'm in a PhD program, so I'm not hating on people with PhDs. But I'm just saying, I didn't need none of that. As a black female, sitting in my motherfucking couch, listening damn what I was listening to the other day. I was listening to Jadakiss. I listened to Juvenile about to bounce back. That's my shit, bounce back. About to bounce back. And then I listened to Order My Steps in Your World by the Black Americans, by the Women of Worship and the Black Pastor. Listen, order your steps in your word. Listen to that. Order my steps in your word. As soon as I heard it, and you heard that black woman say, with that raw, dark Saturn energy, I was like, whoa. I'm listening to Order My Steps in Your World. Or your word. Order my steps in your word. There's any black American kid that would grow up in the church. Y'all know that damn song. That was our shit growing up. And that's still my shit. And so I listened to that and I said, entropy is probability distribution. As soon as I heard that black woman with that, I'm literally, this was like a transmission of like quantum teleported information. Like I'm telling you just that quick. I'm listening to that song. I said, that's what, and I said, entropy don't need to be reduced. It has to be organized. You have to organize those random variables based on your own subjective programming to create your own vortex space. You guys call it vector space, based on your arrow points, your angles of your arrow points for your dimensions to create your matrices. And so, but we don't have to do ours that way. But I was like, whoa. And I said, it has to be organized, and that's how you start to create these ideal parallel universes through your own subjective programming, through your own steps. But you ordering it in your word, the word of God, the word of when you say this heka, this resonance. Okay, order my steps in the resonance of that which creates I would say it's not perfection, but the highest good for your own individual self. Your own individual self. Order my steps in your word. But it's like, okay, now we got this this probability distribution, this entropy, this uncertainty, this randomness, this and you guys even have in your equation, you have entropy. Part of the equation of entropy is represented by zero, but the zero is supposed to be, if you have any greater distribution, uh, greater than zero, I guess you wouldn't use zero, but zero is infinity in the universe's eye. Zero is both. I wrote that in my book, Alternative to Freemasonry. And so this is where you have these random, various continuous variables. And you have to order that. You have to organize that into steps to start to create an ideal parallel universe. And you do that through programming, subjective programming of content, information theory, and for data. That's the V2 in the Nazi philosophy. The data, that's the eternal to the self, but it's not the self. But you have to have awareness of what's in your state of consciousness currently, what you want to train and take out, how you want to transmute it, what's your methods for that. There are certain methods that are more powerful than others. There are, of course, other modalities. But that's what the Nazi philosophy teaches in the book. The V2 is information, is data, is content. Content is eternal to the self. But you have to be able to recognize what's currently in there. And so that's where you fill out the chambers of the self, or the various aspects of the chambers of the mind. And the chambers of the mind are different from the dimensions of the interdimensions of the self. That chart that I've created, that talks about the wisdom self, the transcendent self, the mental self, the parasympathetic self, and the electromagnetic self. Those are different aspects, because now we're talking about an interdimension versus the physical. Like when we're still talking about the chambers of the mind, we're still in 3D. It is known that you have a physical flesh body, or 5D, however you guys want to say it. You're in physical flesh. So chambers of the mind only refer to while you're in a physical flesh. Now, the dimensions of the self, that refers to both flesh and soul, your flesh and your soul, and your relationship with God, whoever your God is. And obviously the universe and galaxy and planet Earth still, because you're still in a physical body. But it does become more important, say, if you become really spiritual and you're still in physical body, for you to be able to have that awareness interdimensionally, that you are still connected to galaxy, that you're still connected to the stellar gateway portal, Godhead. Obviously that's your enlightenment, your connection to understanding the kingdom of God within, to understand the kingdom of God within, and that greater work shall you do if you put in the work. That the dimensions of the self relates to that, but you combine those two. But yes, you order your steps by the probability, by the um, choosing the subjective programming, the actual input of the information, of the data that you want, subjective programming, mind you, that you want, not the objective programming of television and TV and school and social media and the internet and food and uh, Western beauty standards, history, none of that. You can use that content of those apparatuses based on your choosing, only after having awareness of what's serving you or what's not serving you, by filling out that chart in Anarchy philosophy, and then transmuting what you want, adding new content in, and then organizing through the organizations of the chambers of the self in all one direction, which limits distraction and propels you further in the creation of your IQ in this transitory state, and that is for infinity of whatever earth you or whatever planet you go to next, whatever heaven you go to, hell you whatever that's what it's for. It's to pretty much organize the internal entropy of the unknown, of the probability distributions of the events and outcomes that occur within your very life, and then also the mechanisms to deal with the fragmentation for those that have fragmentation of the mind. They may have childhood trauma. They may have went through things as a child. They may have wanted to get rid of certain programming, certain religious programming, indoctrination, school programming, anything. That's what the Naki philosophy teaches. And so when I'm listening to order my steps in your word, I knew immediately. That's what that is. That's all. And that's something that's simple. And that's the power of the Black woman's when she's singing. Just like when I discovered resonance, the fifth governing law of the universe, through listening to who? The Clark sisters with Twinkie Clark, and listening to Jesus is a Love Song. Y'all can laugh and say, "Oh, they're crazy." I look, those in the know, they know who I am, and transmission of quantum teleportation of information is motherfucking real. Quantum entanglement is real. And we're not talking about channeling spirits or channeling some interdimensional being. I am the interdimensional being as well as all humans. And so we have those, we have our octaves of the self, the resonance of the self that is in within the epigenetics that we have forgotten. Our ancestors are with us. Some of us have powerful ancestors. Some of us have literal gods as our ancestors. No lie. Many humans. And so we have to tap into that. We have to tap into that and be able to and to connect back with that stellar gateway portal, which is pretty much the opening of your chakras and the opening of the crown chakra in particular. You don't even have to open it all the way, or you can close it and open when as will, whatever you want to do. Um, but if you have that open, you connect it to that stellar gateway, that the God consciousness within, developing our spirituality, developing our higher self, and aligning it with our lower self, and balancing that out, integrating that together, and honoring both sides, and knowing what serves us and what don't serves us. What's a distraction? What's not a distraction? What's going to get me to the next level? What's not going to get you to the next level? It's as simple as that. And from that point on, once we had that understanding that we are merged with that Godhead, we have more confidence, more self-awareness of who we are. And we have, I ain't gonna hold you. You get memory. You get memory of whether that be your past lives or memory of even the Akashic records, the memories of the collective humanity, the memories of the collective of the universe. Imagine that. Being able to tap into that. And any human can. It's not demonic. Ain't nobody talking to no demon to get no equation or no knowledge. No. This is in your ancestry. Soon as you strive to connect, strive to grow in love in particular. Not if you a lot of times if you grow and want to grow at the expense of other people, that portal stays closed, that energy stays closed, because it has to open up for those that's coming from a genuine authentic space. Don't matter what creed, religion, race, whatever, you're coming from a genuine space of love, that cosmic reservoir and repository of the information, the data of the entire universe, or even just Earth, or just some of the planets around. But that reservoir opens up, and you can explore it at will. Talk to God, ask God some questions, ask any of the entities, other beings questions, or not, or just look at the damn data. Just look at the quantum bits of light. Look at the quantum bits of light that just exist, and that is information. That's just like data. That's like being able to Google the universe, or Google a planet or something. Go on Google, go on Saturn, and ask a question and get a fucking answer. Go tap into Venus reservoirs of repository knowledge and say and Google a damn question, ask a question, and it gives you an answer or helps you. Or you don't have to ask a question. Maybe Venus want to ask y'all ask a question. Do you have the knowledge and awareness to help Venus? Or do Venus always got to help your motherfucking ass? And so that's why we evolve in all of humanity, whether they like it or not. And it's the species as well. Because it's always been, it's never been a time where it wasn't an expectation that all species will evolve, or all humans will evolve throughout this transitory state. Like, again, do we all have the absolute knowing of what exactly planet Earth is and why we here and all that? No, I don't know that, and I ain't gonna act like I do. But I'm okay with that unknown, and I'm okay with that mystery. And see, humans have never been okay with that. And so part of the contentment that comes is in the evolution, believe it or not, is that ability to surrender to, not surrender to, that surrender is not the right word, but to be okay with flow of energy without trying to control and dominate it, and without trying to exploit it. The flow of free energy. I mean, you have to, you guys, if you were okay with free energy, you wouldn't be paying for electricity. So you can say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, but you're paying for electricity. Yeah, you're paying for gas. These are free energy. And so you're not okay with it. You haven't come to the awareness that you shouldn't be paying for it. And those that know they should be paying for it, we still have to pay for it because we don't in a position of power to not pay for it, right? Or we just sit our fucking asses in the dark right now. And so there you have it. And so we have to that being okay without wanting to dominate nature, and some of us are already there. There's plenty of humans, and some of the humans are historically have never even had that problem, right? But there is an infection of even the other species, melanated humans, infection even within, for being up under foreign entities, from being up under parasites, from being, and so you know we also have to reawaken and also reimagine. There's always the expectation of our evolution. And a part of that comes from being content with the mystery and the unknown and speaking truth. The key is that when you see trees, right? What's the first energy you get from trees? Truth. What's the energy that the trees demand? Truth. What the water demand? Love. And so truth and love is what's going to go before our face. That's the foundation of our throne. And so yeah, we real serious about that. Y'all running a whole system, be lying to these people for years, centuries, running whole systems based on deception and lies, and that shit is it's ridiculous at this point. It's not sustainable with the earth or the universe. The universe is not based on a lie, so what makes you think you could tell a lie? So on a mass scale for centuries and get away with it. You could tell a lie, you may get away with it, but I mean, you can't tell the same lie for fucking centuries and get away with it. You can't tell the same lie for decades and get a motherfucking away with it. Somebody gonna clock you on your shit. That's why they hate me so much. I know there's some people that, but they all band together to blacklist the fuck out of me. They all do all type because they know you're gonna get this motherfucking truth, and don't nobody ever call me. I call people that don't nobody say, I'm waiting for it because they know I'm gonna run up. You run up, you get done up. If you run up on me, you gonna get done up. And so, truth is what's gonna propel this country. What's going to propel humanity? The motherfucking truth. The truth about the divine feminine. The truth about these religions that y'all done fucked up and told people, added shit in and took stuff out. The truth about who runs this system. The truth about what Lucifer is. The truth about what Yeshua is. The truth about the government. The truth about the divine feminine is especially. The truth about the divine feminine. The truth about the kingdom of God within. The truth about these mystery sciences. The truth about the production of knowledge. The truth about history. It all has to come out this way. We don't care how ugly it get either. The truth about this fake ass illusion system, the fake ass Hollywood, the fake ass system. It's a fake. It's an illusion. The fake ass celebrities, all that. And I'm not coming at the particular celebrities that I'm talking about the agenda that a lot of these people push. We're tired of the satanic system too. And so the truth is what's going to propel you, but also you white boys ain't gonna ever know about the mysteries of the divine feminine, so y'all can hang that up, and you won't have the equations. You won't be able to write no equations for this shit we talk about. I told your ass that order my steps in the world teaches you probability distribution. How you gonna come up with the equation for that? You're not a female, and you can't listen to another black woman and get quantum transmissions from them. And so this system is going under Saturn. This system is under it already. but you're gonna be under the correct version, not the version that you done read and then took and then botched some damn information and said Chronos and all this shit. No, 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 honey. Mm-mm. Wrong. Try again. You're going under that black womb. That's what Saturn is. Y'all done got it twisted. You're going. That's like you about to be able to learn from a Nina Simone. You're about to be able to learn from a Zora Neale Hurston. You're about to be able to learn from a Winnie Mandela. You're about to be able to learn from a Kali J.N.S. I mean, I am like the pinnacle of Saturn herself. I mean, I was born January 22nd, 1992. My life path is 8, and I'm an Aquarius. I was born on 22 master number. Okay? Okay? And my name is Jenny Nunn Stanley. So, you're gonna be able to learn from this black woman. Yep. So, I done talk my shit. I done got myself all worked up. Let me go and get my ass on the bar. It's September 13th. It's September 13th. It's 9/13. 13 is all about the divine feminine. That's what 13 means, guys. That's why they tell. See, remember I just told you they said that negative was bad. Negative mean low. It don't. It means electrons. It means feminine. Then they tell you that Friday the 13th is bad luck. It's bad, guys. And the 13 means divine feminine. It always mean that for all of our lives, and every is not a secret society, is not a mystery school that would deny this. That 13 has always been associated with the goddess iconography. 13 was never a bad number ever in the history of mankind or in any universe. There was 13 there's 13 months in a year. Okay? There's 13 months in a year. They take it, make it 12. We all know the connection between the 13 and the moon. Okay, so 13 had never been no bad, ain't no bad luck, it ain't no nothing. Then they tell you to stay away from the black cat too. Pay attention to all the codes that they took our sciences and twisted up all this shit and fucked up the whole planet, didn't they? They said stay away from the black cat, the black pussy. The black pussy, the cats is divine feminine too. 13 is a bad number. That's divine feminine. Negative is bad. That means low. That means no one want it's bad. Everything was to turn around. It turned everything against divine feminine. But in private they practice it. They took that power source. They botched it, and again they ass spanked for fucking with it. But in the public they got all the lost ass humans, all these lost souls talking about all reversed engineer, and that's why the planet looked the way it looked. That's why the water looked the way it looked. That's why the oceans look the way they look. That's why the sun is flaring solar flares through this bitch. They trying to block out the sun, polluting the air, fucking with animals. That's why your systems look the way it look, because they desecrate the divine feminine. They desecrate the divine feminine. Say 13 means bad, and then they say you don't go near a black cat. Black cats are the powerful. Those are descendants of Arcturians, but I'm going to get into all that. That's too deep. But everybody knows that cats are interdimensional, just like octopuses, just like humans. Nothing new, and that's why cats were worshipped in Egypt. But cats, they can go through. I don't want to get into all that stuff about cats because that's going into another tangent. That's not have nothing to do with this video. But yeah, they do all these things with the divine feminine, and we back to slay. Yep, we back to slay. We don't care what you say. We don't care who go kicking and screaming. You black men, you get your booty spanked too. If you dragging, you kicking and screaming all the 125D, nigga. Yeah, we dragging you too. And so y'all can get mad. Y'all can all get mad. It is what it is. We gonna see a higher order on this planet and in the next dimensions to come when we as we go through this transitory. And guess what? You don't die. That's what they keep telling y'all, that you want to have physical deaths if y'all want to, or you gonna die in many lifetimes and keep evolving on the same timeline without having to be rebirthed and having your damn memories wiped and forgetting and having to start over like a motherfucking baby and don't remember shit. Who wants to do that? Unless some people do. I ain't gonna hold you. Some people that's wrong for me to say that. Some people do, but some of us don't want to do that. Like the Hootie don't do that shit. And then nobody, like, now he got to do a lot to stay uh as a reservoir, everywhere, everything everywhere all at once. That type of energy, you do got to do a lot to maintain it. If you that once you that primordial, that specific resonance, yes, you do. That particular archetype has to uh do a lot, and I'm not going to get into that. There's books on that stuff. I'm not going to detail that in this video. But some humans also won't have to do that if they don't want to. If you want to come back, you can. But you don't have to. And so that's been the also the biggest thing that they've been hiding from humans. But yeah, if you want to go to a heaven, they said in my father's house there's many mansions. So I mean, you can have a physical death on this planet still too, because many of us are going to have that. But I'm just saying, like, there's other worlds out there that they have not told you of. Remember that song by Sun Ra? Look at this song right here. Matter of fact, I thought we was gonna review the debate. I guess that's good that we don't do that though. Because they be doing like the copyright strike and shit like that. So let me show you this though. Look at this song right there. The other worlds they have not told you of. The song right here. I will play this right now, but I already know I can't play it. But this song right there, there are other worlds they have not told you of. Now, when you hear this, you hear like voices, like you hear this is a very then some Ross from Birmingham, Alabama. The name of Herman Blunt. He's a Black American, but they got a portal in Saturn, in Alabama. I don't know the coordinates. I don't know shit. I don't need to measure it. So Sunrise says he's from Saturn. He's been saying that, but I telling you that there's a portal in Alabama. Now he been saying he been an angel from Saturn for all them years, and he never changed his story. But he knows some shit. Sunrise knows a lot, and when you hear this song, there are other worlds they have not told you of. You hear we wish to speak to you. You hear like him whispering like this. Obviously, the song is like whoo. Is given pretty much if you listen to the song, if you had a certain vibration of frequency, you should be able to see the science of how the pyramids were built. Now, I'm not saying you'll know the equations or the formulas or how to even regurgitate it. I'm just saying you will see it being done. Now, I'm saying you will know how to do it yourself, because I don't know how to do it myself, but I know I saw it being done. I just can't do it myself. But maybe if I listen to it more and more, it'd be discovered, because it took me quite a bit of years to even get that. But see, this was a being that was able to hide stuff in his songs and his resonances, this music, these octaves, and these beautiful intervals. And the information is concealed based on your frequency. So the knowledge comes to you as far as like just these songs based on your frequency, as far as the awareness that you'll get from this is a master teacher right here, this Sun Ra. And people get mad because you say, oh, you can't say somebody's your master. Master means they master something. It don't mean they're the master over you. That's how we used it as melanated people. The guys are so brainwashed. But he's a master teacher, so he mastered his sign, his self. He mastered certain things. He mastered music, if nothing else, right? So that's why they call him master teacher. I would call myself master teacher. I'm not the master over nobody else. I mastered certain things that was important to me. I can't even see what I mastered was important to you, right? You don't even have to call me that, but I see myself as master teacher. It's not about me being no master over nobody else. I'm the master over myself, though. I'm the master of my emotional body and the master of my mind. That's what the fuck it mean for me. Shit, I teach myself first. But yeah, Sun Ra as he hides stuff. And that's why he put in that movie, The Joyful Noise, how the CIA is watching every fucking movie, because they knew he was an interdimensional being, and the CIA is watching every little thing he do. And he put in his movie himself, and he talked about how he fireside chats with Lucifer, and how he saw in that movie I was talking with the Prince of Air who runs the planet Earth, because they knew who he was. I had the same experience, so I know how this shit go. That shit ain't no joke. And so I'm telling you, this is a master teacher. You better get in where you fit in and learn some things and listen to some of these music and meditate. I'm not saying meditate on his songs, but some for some of you, you're gonna see that you're gonna listen to it and be able to get certain information. Just like I can listen to certain songs that's gospel and be able to get whole ass damn formula, certain knowledges just from listening to like the clip of a damn song. That's how powerful these Black Americans are. This is the Black American I know and love. This is the Black American I grew up admiring. I don't know what y'all doing today where y'all cutthroat selling each other out and all that bullshit, and y'all fucked over Nipsey Hussle and Darren Seals. Y'all talk about you want the black man, you want the black masculine man. You want him back. Why the fuck did y'all kill Darren Seals then? Because that was the best y'all was gonna get. And why did y'all kill Nipsey Hussle? Why did y'all do that? And it was niggas that was in on that. It was other black people that was in on that, killing those boys like that. And so that was the black masculine man that we were supposed to have in this motherfucking community. Darren Seals. And we know exactly who was behind the death. And it wasn't just the U.S. Marshals. It was niggas. And I know the nigga that also worked with that sold them out. That's what they've been doing. They've been saying, oh, we want our black masculinity. Yeah. So why y'all killing? Why did I do it then? Why'd y'all get rid of Nipsey Hussle? Hmm? 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 Why'd you ain't big up Ben Carson? Well, I don't get it. Why'd you kill Thomas Sankara for your Africans over there? So I don't want to hear it. I don't. We have to value these type of people. The sunrise. You must value them. They knew some things. And this, like I said, this is when I talk about my people, and when people wonder, well, why your passion, and knowing the hurt that I know that my people have put me through, you kind of see me pivot because I do know. But what I said, and I stand on how I feel about Black Americans. Why? Because this is what I know that the sunrise. This is the type. This is what I know is the Black American spirit. The genius, the good, the bad, the ugly. The Zora Neale Hurston, the Tupacs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because none of these people are hagiographic saints, including myself. Nobody is a motherfucking saint. Well, actually, you a motherfucking saint and you're not a motherfucking saint at the same time. For those of us that get it. You both at the same time, quiet as a cat. But this sunrise, there are other worlds they have not told you of. You'll hear him saying, "We wish to speak to you," and you can hear if you listen hard. I mean, you got to really have headphones. You ain't go hear it if you don't have no headphones in. And you have good headphones at that, and you got to be kind of in a trance. And you'll hear him say, actually, you don't have to be in a trance. You just need to have your headphones up a little louder, and you hear them say, "Let me remind you of who you are. I need to remind you of who you are. I need to remind you of who." We wish to speak to you. There are other worlds they have not told you of. We wish to speak to you. There are worlds that I need you to remember who you are. It's powerful. And then if you really getting into it, it can really see what's going on. That's when you start seeing the energies of Saturn on this shit. We got some Tahuti type shit going on there. And that's when you start seeing them motherfuckers, how they showing you how they built them motherfucking pyramids up in Egypt. You'll see it. Now you won't get the formula. You'll see it. You won't remember it. You won't know how to do nanomagnetic levitation. That's how pyramids are built. It's like nano electromagnetic. It's like electromagnetic levitation that you could do with your mind, but you have to do it collectively. But you also have beings that were kind of demigods that taught humans how to do this science. They don't do it anymore. And obviously the pyramids was designed by y'all want to know, or do y'all already know? Do y'all already know who did that? If not, I don't even know if I'm gonna say it in this video because again, I'm shadow banned like a motherfucker. Y'all just put it all out there. They gave a nigga 7 years in prison for putting that information out. So I don't think I'm gonna go there. They ain't gonna put my motherfucking ass in jail, but they put his ass in jail because he was their boy and he blurted it out. But yeah, it's real. We got electromagnetic. It's like I want to say it could be like nanomagnetic levitation. That don't mean you're gonna know how to do it, but that's how it was built. But sound levitate, that ain't nothing new. Y'all, you could do that as a quick experiment with that. You just don't know how to do it on a grand scale with that level of precision in mathematics. Because guess what? You're missing the qualitative aspect of that. Not everything is measurement and angles. That's what y'all measurement and it's confined to your physical spaces, and that's what's fucking y'all up. You combine you limit your dimension building based on length, weight, and height instead of breadth, depth, and substance. You're missing components the of the equation that equates to mystery that can't be, that's the unknown. But also your concepts of zero meaning nothing on this planet is also fucking you up because zero means infinity in the universe eyes. And so that's where we at with it. I think I done talked well good damn enough. Get my ass off here and see if there's any comments. Oh yeah, a road. Let's talk about the cat eating thing. Okay, let me get off of here. Love you guys. Bye.